Another edition of Outlaw Radio Live on a Monday evening. Welcome to the show. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the host of the Outlaw Radio platform, the founder of the People's News Network, and also the People's Network, period. Welcome to the show. The militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, is in the building. I got to play a little catch up. Wasn't here last Wednesday, but there's a lot to talk about tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Outlaw Radio is on the air. People always ask me, what is Outlaw Radio? Well, Outlaw Radio is a foundational Black American platform in which we talk about things that are pertinent and relevant to Black people. So if you are a supporter of that kind of conversation or a willing participant, this is the show for you. If not, then I would advise you to keep scrolling because you might hear something on here tonight that may offend you. But everybody's welcome as long as you respect the platform. As long as you don't try to come on and troll, as they say. You know, we have a lot of people out there who make a pretty good living off of trolling people. But this is what we do on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I said we because I'm normally not alone. Case in point, I do have my co-host here with me tonight. Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless something happens or unless I just decide it's probably not a good idea for me to do the show. Like last Wednesday, I just decided that I felt like, my mind wasn't in the right place to do a show, so kept it to myself. But yes, this is Outlaw Radio. Welcome to the show. I hope you hear something, because our goal is to educate, enlighten. I shouldn't even say educate. I should say enlighten, inform, as well as entertain. So I hope you find something on here that captures your thoughts in one of those kinds of fashion. So, Mr. ENC Jordan tapping in. What it do, man? How you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. How you doing? You straight? You good?
I'm very well tonight. I feel good. Everything is going well. There's a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about.
Oh, really? Hey, what's her face dropped out of the mayoral race, bro?
I seen that.
Yeah, dude, this is gonna be wild.
Gubernatorial.
Oh yes, the gubernatorial race.
I thought it was a gubernatorial.
Hey, our friend. I was gonna say our friend Mandela Burns. He said he gonna go ahead and he gonna legalize weed, man.
I did see that as well. I seen that as well. So and we cooking with grease now. And when I found out more about Tom Tiffany, which is showing me that he is not the one we should be voting for.
Oh my Lord! No.
So yeah, it's going down, as they say. But welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
It was Father's Day this weekend. On Sunday, to be exact. How was your Father's Day?
It was really good. I talked to my 19-year-old for a while, who forgot it was Father's Day. We were on the phone for so long. We was talking, and she was like, "Daddy, it's Father's Day every day with you." She was like, "You always there for me. Thank you." And you know how kids are, especially when you in their life. So yeah, right. She was like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "Don't be sorry. It's whatever." I was like, "I talk to you all the time. I'm good." So. Yeah. But yes, it was great, man. My grandson doing good now. I wish his dad a happy Father's Day. So yeah, man, I had a pretty good week. Yeah, definitely. What was yours like?
It was smooth. Shout out to my babies, man. My son and my daughter. They both gave me gifts. Wife cooked me up a king's meal. So it was smooth, man. It was smooth. I think like most fathers, I go into Father's Day not really expecting a whole lot, right? Like Father's Day is let's just say it doesn't have the same reverence that Mother's Day has a lot of times.
Not at all. You might be lucky if you get a 3-pack of draws. No, I'm just playing.
Well, you know what? My family has always been pretty good at making sure I got something, like whether it be, cologne or and I'm one of them dudes where if you ask me what I want for any holiday, I'm gonna say cash. So
absolutely.
Give me
my
the cash.
mom like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I go buy my own gift. Right. Give me the cash. So my son hit my hand with some cash, which was a dope thing, so I appreciate that. But yeah, man, it was smooth. It was a pretty good thing, man. And I think we need to acknowledge fathers more, because I think, and it shows in today's society, in particular in the Black community, the need for a strong male in the home is very, 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 very pertinent. Like there needs to be, and in our community, there needs to be stronger male leadership. Right. I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I will say that
Yeah.
we do need to, as men, we probably collectively need to try to figure out how we can better lead and better serve our families and our communities. But it's always good to be acknowledged, man. But other than that, the big news was Juneteenth Day. Okay. And this is the first year that I felt kind of different about Juneteenth Day. And I'm going to tell you why. And anybody out there, we have a phone number attached to the show. It's 262-202-5131. Once again, it's 262-202-5131. And we have a chat room. So you can jump in the chat room and get involved in the conversation, especially when it comes to our discussion about Juneteenth Day. First of all, the meaning of Juneteenth Day, the purpose of it, because I heard a lot of people saying, Happy Freedom Day, Happy Freedom Day, Happy Freedom Day. And I was thinking, like, well, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah.
Because the whole premise of this is not the day that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. According to history, it was signed actually, 2 years prior to this particular day. But there
Yes.
were a group of slaves in Galveston, Texas, who
That's
were
exactly where it was.
unaware. They were unaware that this had been signed and that they were technically free. On paper, they were free.
Yeah.
So they received the news that, hey, y'all, this shit been over for a couple years. So, and then I thought about what actually occurred after that. Okay. What actually occurred after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, in terms of, we're talking 1865. So, in upwards of 100 years later, up to 1965, the fight for equal rights for Black people was still being fought. And it was being fought at one of its most intense levels ever by 1965. So when people say Happy Freedom Day, I was like, well, is this Freedom Day? I do understand, and shout out to everybody in Milwaukee who organized Juneteenth Day, because it looked like a joyous event. I mean, there had to be 200, 300,000 people there. And from what I heard, or for what I've read, there were no incidents. We didn't have any violence.
Nothing. Yeah, everything I've seen too. Kim Murphy was reporting that too, because she's independent now. So she was putting that all over her page, how good it was. So yeah.
Is she independent now? She no longer on Fox 6?
She does a lot of media independently. I don't know if she's on Fox 6 or not anymore, but I know her page be popping. Like, she posts a lot of positive stories, which I like. I like Kim Murphy a lot. I'm a huge supporter of her.
I've watched her over the years. I interned at Fox 6 and she was there. She
Oh,
didn't know
really?
I was. Yeah. I did an internship when I first came home from school. I didn't get to ride with her because she primarily did the mornings. I was with Beverly Taylor. I went out on some stories with her, who was the
I
other.
liked her too.
Yeah, she was cool people. Yeah. But so I seen number one, I seen a lot of white people, local white people. I seen them involved, right? So I seen like the news teams.
Oh, yeah.
And they were dancing. And I didn't like that. I felt like it may be appropriation, or even maybe kind of like a joke to them, because I'm like, well, y'all smiling a little too hard, right? And this is just me, y'all. So
yeah, for sure.
If you have an opinion on this, please let me know. I seen a lot of people who had on red, black, and green with African, with an African theme to it, and I was thinking, okay, what does this have to do with Pan-Africanism? And once again, this is me, and I'm asking these questions out loud. And then I thought about the fact that the next day after Juneteenth, everything would be the same. It would be no change. So I was thinking, like, what are we doing, or what should we be doing with Juneteenth to bring forth some change? So some people say, well, just the information alone, Kevin, is enough to let people know that, it's an important part of our history and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I said, this should be more impactful. That's how I felt. Right. And I seen the normal leaders from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the people who are supposed to be community oriented. They were all there. It was, as usual, everybody's there. They're smiling, laughing there, and looked like they had a good time.
Yeah.
But I started to question the whole process and like, what could we do to make this um, more impactful? Because Milwaukee has been doing this longer than almost every other city, and we have one of the largest
Yes.
celebrations of Juneteenth. This was 55.
That's wild to me, man.
That's a dope
Seriously.
look.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know after all these years, and because we don't get in the Black community in Milwaukee, what we don't have, really is unity. We don't really have solidarity, especially amongst leaders. So when I see the mayor walking, smiling, shaking hands, da 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 da, and I'm saying to myself, how can you look these people in the eye, knowing that you haven't really brought anything to the table since we put you in office? Um, and he was having a good time, and he has the right to. But I was just thinking, like, how can you look at all of these people, and you're in the community, you're deep within the Black community in Milwaukee, and not say to myself, I need to bring some sort of economic development plan to this city for these people. So a lot of the elected officials who was there, I was just kind of like, And I know you can't ban them. You can't ban them from Juneteenth Day, right? Just like you can't ban the white people. But I just
damn.
The whole spirit of celebration in terms of Juneteenth is what? Like what exactly are we celebrating the fact that some people who didn't know we were free, some of our people who didn't know we were free, um, were informed that they were, or we were just saying, freedom period. Hey, this is why Tom Tiffany got mad. Is this the Black 4th of July? Right? So, it was just I didn't know. Just the first time I ever really looked at Juneteenth and said,
Oh,
what is this really about? What is this? And how can we like broaden the impact of Juneteenth Day? So it'll be something, because I wasn't there, so I didn't see all the individual stages or whatever. And I'd like to see more youth-led initiatives. I'd like to see a year-round connection to Juneteenth Day. Like, from Black History Month to Juneteenth Day, I'd like to see some sort of bridge built. But that's just me. Erica Hunt, I see in the chat room, she said happy Juneteenth. How you doing, Erica? Happy Juneteenth to you as well. Ian, what did you think? What do you think about Juneteenth Day?
I think it's strictly for information purposes, and I go a little deeper with it, to be quite frank. It just shows you how dirty people are. It just shows they knew slavery was over, and they didn't even want to tell them, and kept getting the free labor. Like, bro, yeah, exactly, dude. Like, that's what it means to me. And the fact that all of this stuff went off without a hitch, no issues, no problems, it just shows what I think me and you have always known in the Outlaw family. Dude, Black people are not the damn problem. We really aren't. You know what I mean? We have our issues in our community just like everyone else. It's just we're more critical of our community because it's our community. That's it. You know what I mean? We just want to see our community be the best it can be. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what Juneteenth means to me. When I saw that, when Kim Murphy was showing all the freaking I think it was probably satellite, now I don't want to say satellite, probably drone views where they were just going. I'm like, dude, how many people were out there? And you said like 200 to 300,000, and then you have no issues. Come on, man. That's beautiful. I'm just like, dude, and I ain't gonna lie to you. At this point, I don't expect it, because I something funny. I was talking to a couple of guys that I work with, and these are Mexicans, cool guys, man. They in Tucson. They went to the Juneteenth Day parade here. They just like the culture. They're like, man, Black people cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we brown skinned people, we need to stick together. And I'm like, I'm like, do y'all feel like that because of the Trump stuff, or why do you feel that way? And he was like, no, man. But he said the one thing that I've always heard. He was like, I've always been around Black people. He's like, y'all cool as hell. I don't got no problem with you. But the people that don't, or the ones that want the white acceptance, oh, Juneteenth not a real holiday or whatever. So it just depends on who you are around, man. So, but what it means overall is information, and shows you how dirty people can be and stuff like that, man. I'm happy. And that's why every time I see it, I'm so glad it happened, because I just know somewhere Charlie Kirk is smiling up at us.
He said smiling up. Okay.
That
Okay.
was the George Floyd joke. Remember they tried to say that about George Floyd in the Kevin Hart roast when I was reading the
You know
transcripts.
what? I didn't watch the roast, so I don't
Me
actually know
neither.
what the joke was. I
Oh,
just heard that it was a George Floyd
no,
joke.
no, no. That's what the joke was. It was like, man, he can't breathe smiling up at us as we are sitting here in unity. That's what Tony Hinchcliffe said, right?
Oh, okay.
So even if you are of this yoke, and I talked about it on Friday, even if you are from this yoke, like, okay, you know what, Kevin Hart and them didn't know what was going on. Kevin, in case you didn't know, my brother, guess what? Kevin Hart and Tony Hinchcliffe took off jokes about President Trump's wife, Melania, and him. And the one joke that was apparently, and this, listen to this, it says specifically, oh yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe and Melania Trump have one thing in common. They both opened up for him once. That was the joke. But the George Floyd and lynching jokes were okay, and Kevin Hart implicitly knew. It came out about a week ago. I said, I need to talk about this, and I'm going to bring it up on Outlaw Radio. So when he plays the victim card, I want to say it again, and I say it with just from the depths of my soul. Fuck that clown. He is a sellout beyond sellouts because he didn't think that would come out. Man, the motherfuckers came out with that shit like, no, bro, they took out plenty of Trump jokes, but they left the lynching and George Floyd jokes in. No respect for that guy, bro. Yeah, I'm done. I'm officially done with him. Yes, I can't stand him. Nope.
Well, he's an entertainer, so
I like that.
he's a court jester. Like, you know, it's make the king laugh. That's what that's all about. So, you know, I
for sure.
don't expect much over there. Dion, I see in the chat room, he said, "What's up, guys?" Shout out to Ewok in the chat room. He had some comments about Juneteenth Day. He said we can't consider it like the 4th of July because separation was involved when the white man decided to gangster America from Great Britain. Okay. Erica Hunt said, I was disappointed by the parade as a participant. Why were you disappointed, Erica? We'd like to know more. Because if you were in, like, I'd like to be, because I wasn't there. I'm a grouchy old hermit, right? So I wasn't there. I didn't want to be too critical of it because people say, well, your ass wasn't even there, right? Like, so I like to hear from somebody who was there. You're right, Brendan Hayes. Clive Davis passed away this morning, I guess. You don't know who Clive Davis is? Basically the music executive who brought some of the biggest artists that we've seen in this country over the years, from Whitney Houston to Diddy. Yeah. Yeah, Diddy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dion said, shout out to Erica. I seen her at Mayfair. Let me see if I can get this caller. I think this is Erica. Erica, is this you?
Yeah, this Erica.
What's popping? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Happy Juneteenth to all the listeners.
Same to you.
Now, y'all know I was super excited about Juneteenth. It's been a part of our tradition for the last 6 years. And then I even went a few times before it got too dangerous with my mama as a younger girl. I love the whole celebration part, but as a participant who took my union members with me, we was told and instructed to be there at 8:30 a.m. in the morning to participate in the parade. We were told to meet on 16th and Atkinson, way on 16th and Atkinson. We stood there 2.5 hours before we got a chance to move. Before we even moved 3 blocks, maybe. Our executive director made a decision to say, no, this is it. We just gonna go ahead and meet up at our booth and at our tent because we had been standing out there. We didn't have any water. We didn't have any chairs. I had members and their mothers who were out there. We had members who started sitting on the curb because we had been out there just standing for 2.5 hours. And then when we finally get down to the parade, we realized, okay, we got the whole Atkinson. But as soon as you get down past, what is that? I think Keith, the pathway just got narrow and narrow and narrower and narrow. And then you realize, like, dang, this is why the parade is taking so long to move through these few blocks. And it was kind of disappointing because I believe they take a registration fee to participate in the parade. And then as we were getting to learn the different organizations, some of these organizations were from out of town.
Interesting. Okay.
Where, and I follow a couple of these dance groups and things like that, but these were from out of town. I believe one group was from Iowa or something like that, right? Which I respect, but I never realized that these were outsourced dance groups and bands and things like that. Like, I thought we had enough. As I'm walking, because I had to park my car. My son dropped me off on 11th and, what's that street in between Atkinson and Capitol? I don't know, but we had to walk over to Atkinson and then had to walk up because everything around Atkinson was blocked off for about a block and a half, right? And as we walking up, I'm seeing all these different beautiful groups and young people who participating and practicing their performance. And then I start to find out some of these groups is from out of town. I'm like, well, I'm got all the Milwaukee pride because I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize we had all these dance teams, good job, Milwaukee. And then as my members started chatting with them as we standing up here waiting these 2.5 hours, we find out that these groups ain't even from Milwaukee. So I don't know. The vending system was a little bit better, but as you got past Burleigh and closer all the way down to Locust, like everything was so congested. The vendors were literally in the streets. It was just hard to move around. And I know it's a big block party, but like, let's extend it some. You know what I'm saying? Let's thin it out because literally when you get past TMJ4, we had pedestrians standing right next to moving vehicles. And I don't think that was safe. Now they had a lot of respectable volunteers who was trying to tell people to step back, but if they wasn't taking their position seriously, there was a lot of risk that was being taken. And then to realize that's the reason why the parade didn't move for 2.5 hours, it was really just a car show to me. But I enjoyed myself. By the time we got our members down to our booth, we fed our members and we got them home. I was done by noon. It was hot, tiresome, but I enjoyed being there and encouraging people and talking and wishing everybody happy Juneteenth, and people was there. I love the wardrobes everybody had in the crowd, but yeah, they need not to narrow it down when we get to the thinner streets. Like Atkinson is a wide street, and then when you get to MLK Drive, it's only 3 lanes now, if that. So it's just it made me realize, okay, we're gonna have to either enroll earlier so we can be at the beginning of the parade. But even then, they had all the cars and all the what is those 3-wheeler vehicles and the Corvettes. All of them went first, right after the mayor. So
okay.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this real quick because I want to give other people a chance to kind of chime in on this. I heard you say you understood that it was a block party, right? Like
right.
But so what are we celebrating when we go and say, okay, we want to celebrate Juneteenth Day? What are we celebrating in your mind?
Freedom. That was my biggest thing. And my catchphrase for that day was Happy Juneteenth, Happy Freedom Day. Don't give your freedom away today. And I just kept saying that as I continued to walk from 16th and Atkinson down to Locust at MLK Drive, which is a long walk. I believe it's like 2 miles. But I was spreading that energy of be grateful for your freedom. Don't give your freedom away. And I hope that kind of had a reflection, and that's what was spread it around, because we got to understand this freedom is a luxury. People died for this freedom, for us to be able to even be the Negroes we want to be, regardless if we just some pothead, weed heads, or the crackhead on Atkinson, right?
Oh, okay.
Somebody had to fight for you to be able to be this free. And
so
freedom is my biggest thing.
That's my whole thing. I heard people saying freedom, Happy Freedom Day. And I was thinking, even in the context of the fact that these people lived 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed and hadn't even been informed that they were so-called free. And then, of course, we know the period after that, the next 150 years or so, represents one of the rougher patches that Black people have had in this country in terms of our struggle for empowerment and our rights and whatnot. So was it freedom? I'm asking. I know normally y'all say, Kev, you always, and I am a very pessimistic individual. but I'm saying whenever somebody kept saying Happy Freedom Day, I kept saying, well, this ain't Freedom Day. This to me.
I actually got corrected a few times, and they kept saying free-ish. You get what I'm saying? But it's a lot of times too in current days. A lot of these young people are mentally enslaved, right?
Okay.
And they don't understand that they don't necessarily got to give away their freedom by running around here and doing what they doing. I'm a big believer in not giving the police a reason to lock you up or fuck with you. They already gonna fuck with you regardless because we black, right? But why we out here continuously giving them a reason to fuck with us?
Okay, freedom in that sense, in that regard, I guess I understand. I guess, so I'm looking at a lot of the people who were there, in particular young people, and I know nowadays that there are many people in our community who are not well versed in our history, right? They're not well versed in Black history in this country.
No.
So did they understand why they were there? Was it just another opportunity to get some roasted corn and kind of walk around and see everybody and say, hey, y'all, hey, I'm live on Facebook. I've seen a lot of people live on Facebook, and everybody was about empowerment, and it was pro-Black, and it was strong Black. And I was thinking, like, tomorrow these same people will go back into whatever holes or caves that they live in, and they won't be nowhere near as vocal. But I guess it's okay to have one day that's kind of like an outlet. So I feel like it's more of an outlet. And just kind of like you said, I think you said it the best way it probably could be stated: a street party, a block party. But how do we make this something that's impactful for our community, since it is so large? Since you do have the chance to reach out to so many people. Now, I don't know all the organizations were there, but was there voter registration? Was there medical screening? Was there resources?
So there was definitely, because SEIU teamed up with Power to the Polls, and Power to the Polls have been out here. They do canvassing. I say we because some of my union members have been hired by Power to the Polls to get out and make this extra money during election time and advocate and reach out to co-members and remind them how important it is to get out and vote, right? Or, you know what I'm saying? We also endorsed a few candidates this past week, and then we're endorsing a couple more candidates, and then we're having a roundtable this week to talk to the 7 candidates for governor. So unions have always had their foot in politics. It's just who is in that union. Just like my grandmama used to tell me, it's not about the school, it's who running the school or who's participating in the school. It's not about the union, it's who participating in it, right? So we're educating our members on politics and procedures and their civil rights, right? I got excited and started talking like I'm at work, so excuse me. But it's very important that we start educating our kids. And then you said, well, a lot of these young people understand that this isn't just a block party, that we're actually out here celebrating our freedom. Well, that is the responsibility of the elders to be out there teaching them. I've always believed in that. And no, it's not just another beauty pageant, because I noticed that they had a stage and a bunch of performers. But I love the art segment. I never seen this at Juneteenth as many times as I've been, but there was literally an art section of live artists, and they had a competition, which I didn't get a chance to stick around to find out who won, but it was beautiful art being displayed, and the theme of it was freedom, right? So each artist had a time, but the young people do turn it into just a walk up and down the street because it's free. You got to think about how many of these young people, they want to come to these events, but they want to be clean, looking fresh. They want to have the ability to eat or buy from the vendors. They also want to have their little smoke and they drink. And a lot of these young people can't afford to go to Summerfest and do that, so they do it at Juneteenth.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your input. Glad you had a good time. Obviously, I think it's something that's very important. I just want to attach more meaning to it, and I'd like to see it have more impact. That's all. So once again, we have enough opposition. We found out that there's a lot of white politicians who don't even want this to even exist, including Tom Tiffany, who's running for governor of the United States of America. I'm sorry, of the state of Wisconsin. He ain't running for governor of the country. He ain't running for governor.
Tom Tiffany.
And also I found that Ron Johnson, who, there's a lot of Republicans who support him. He voted against a Juneteenth Day as well. So, it's something that not everybody's happy to see us be able to have. A lot of angry white people about it. Like, look at all these niggers. Like
Hey, he wasn't even like that a few years ago. It just goes to show you how these motherfuckers really are. They go where the wind blows. And it's not, I mean, last time I checked, did Ron Johnson need another dollar? So he don't got to kiss nobody's ass. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. He doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do. So when he votes against Juneteenth, that means he feels that way. And that means anyone, and I said this before, and I keep saying it every time I talk, anyone that is associated with the thinking of MAGA or that is in MAGA or supports Trump, you got to vote the other way. I don't give a fuck who it is. You have to. They can't be in government anymore. Their whole movement is predicated on racism. It really is. Mm-hmm. They hate black people. It's not, and I want y'all really to understand this watching. This is not all white people. But the ones that have doubled down on this nonsensical movement, they hate you. They don't dislike you. They hate you, and they think you are here to be servers. You're here to pick up garbage. That's what you're here for. You're a necessary evil. You're not supposed to be a doctor. You're not supposed to run a company or own a business. So just remember that when you're voting, anyone that has a R currently after their name that supports that you can find, because there's no reason for Tom Tiffany to have an issue with Juneteenth other than he's fucking racist.
I wanted to give some clarity on that.
Okay.
His point is there should only be one Independence Day, and he looked at it as something that would encourage.
That's their excuse to be racist.
Right. Well, you know, I'm just telling you what he said is reasonable.
I hate that shit, Kev. I get so mad because that is their program.
Anytime I hear a politician that is against something like Juneteenth Day or Black History Month, in my head, all I hear is somebody who's saying, fuck them niggas. That's all I hear. Like, I can't.
Why do you care? Why do you care, Tom Tiffany, if there's a Juneteenth Day? No one is competing with Independence Day.
Let me tell you why he cares, right? One, the Juneteenth event itself is bringing awareness and bringing pride to the Black community. One. So where racism don't want us to be prideful in anything and don't want us to be educated about our history, period, that's why they don't want it. Even with just the Block Party and the way it's set up, it still was a sense of pride. There were several hundred people just sitting on the sideline watching the parade go by who had the joy, who had the energy of pride of being free, of being Black. So, of course, he's going to vote against a Black empowerment event like Juneteenth here in Milwaukee because he don't want us to be in power. He don't want us to know who we are. But I also want to pivot. You said our white counterparts. I end up dropping off one of my members who came with me because their children had got overwhelmed with the event. So I dropped off my member, but then my feet was burning from walking from 16th to Atkinson all the way down to Locust, right? So I went to the lakefront. When I got to the lakefront, when I say it was a sea of white people at the lakefront, it seemed like the memo went out, was like, oh, the niggers are going to be on MLK Drive. We might as well go to the lakefront. It's safe now. Like and white people were literally looking at me and my brown children like, what are you doing here? The little nigger girl should be at the Juneteenth celebration. Then I took my kids out to eat, and it was kind of the same vibe everywhere we go. Like, the white people were chill. They were enjoying themselves, and it was not many Negroes around. So it definitely was a different vibe outside of MLK Drive, and my Black self feel like the white folks was happy we was having a Juneteenth because they didn't have to look over their shoulder too hard at the lakefront. I could definitely say that.
Let me go to the chat room. Ace Cooley. He says, fuck Clive Davis, gay ass, murderous ass. He's a gatekeeper. Clive Davis has been accused of some real homo thugging in the music industry, y'all. And I didn't, out of respect the dead. I didn't want to just kind of start off talking about him in that way. But we don't know what the extent of what Clive Davis actually done is over his time in terms of that whole system, how that thing was set up. And how, at Casting Couch where you had to get down and lay down. So I'm pretty sure a lot of accusations are going to come out now that he's passed away. But there's a lot of people who say the way Sean Combs behaved was a learned behavior that he learned from Clive Davis. And they kind of taught him how to do it. So the freak offs were, And a lot of people, I know, I think a lot of people need to realize what Diddy was doing with the freak offs is not new, right? It wasn't a new concept. If you are one of those people who read a lot, and I like talk about this before on the show, Aretha Franklin, whose dad was a very, very, very prominent pastor, way back as far as the 50s, was known to host parties with all of the celebrities of the day in attendance, gospel singers, R&B singers, soul singers, and this the kind of it was basically a freak off in the 50s. And this is kind of like the way this thing came about. And even Aretha Franklin was pregnant by the time she was 12 years old, because from what I heard was that she learned how to kind of mingle into the parties and started to meet people, and in particular grown men. So they say Clive Davis is guilty a lot of that. I don't know for sure. I wasn't there, but that's the accusations that you can look forward to hearing about him as the time goes on. Everett Gransberry, how you doing, my brother? He said, greetings, brother. 2 points of information for the audience to consider. The white man, he said, the white man as the
I don't mean to
reference.
cut you off, Kev, but I'm going to hop back in the comments. I got mommy duties.
All right. Thank you, Erica, for calling in. Mr. Gransberry says the white man, as the reference mentioned, did not steal his country from the British. It was stolen land to begin with. British people are, he said, British people are white, by the way. Second, every person of color is part of the transatlantic slave experience because their countries was stopping points along that journey. I'm just saying. Okay, thank you for your input, sir. Thank you for your input. Mama Jenkins, how you doing? How you doing, Mama Jenkins? Hope everything is going well for you. She said, good evening, my Outlaw family. I'm watching and learning something tonight, getting ready for my hot road trip to go to Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Visiting family there will be no sirens or flashing lights in Kosciuszko. But Memphis, Tennessee, 31 deaths, and Jackson, 38 deaths, is killing people like they do in Chicago. What can I bring you back, KB? Bring me some Brian bologna and Brian hot dogs. People say, "Ugh, Kevin eat bologna." Listen,
You eat bologna, man?
I don't like bologna in general, but when I stayed in Mississippi with my grandmother,
Yeah,
the one thing that my brother and I really jumped on was a company called Brian, I guess Brian Meats. They had hot dogs and bologna that were just, I'm talking about just delicious. Oh my goodness. And smoked sausage is something else, which is pork as well. So I guess I'm not doing myself no justice, but the watermelon is always sweeter in Mississippi. I guess it's the sun, but the watermelon down there is second to none. So
speaking of Mississippi, the crazy, because I got a lot of family in Louisville. So the thing is funny because the first time I ever saw soda with peanuts in it, that is something that I was like 11 years old. I'm like, why the heck do they got these peanuts in the soda? It was the craziest
I think that's a Georgia thing. I didn't see that in Mississippi when I
I did. Went right to the corner store and I got it, and it was different, man.
Yeah, we didn't really see that when we stayed down there.
Yeah.
I think that's a Georgia thing, peanuts and soda. Yeah, I know. That's weird. That's strange to me too. Everett says schools become successful because of parental involvement. Without it, our children will be victims of the system that we as parents don't monitor. Okay, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Brendan Hayes, you are 100% correct. Charleston White is a coon. I've been saying that for a very long time. Dion, you got to cut your device down.
Man, I cut it down.
I totally agree with you. I've been talking about Charleston White for a very long time, and I've had other black people tell me, "Oh, he's just playing a character. He's just playing a character."
No, he's not.
Charleston White in a second. Let me go through here.
What he did now? I'll be out the loop.
Dion says, "I'm so tired of the white man. I'm just tired of them." He said, "I'll be in Jackson, Mississippi for the 4th." Carrie Walker Jones, how you doing, my sister? She said, "Hello, Outlaw family. How you doing?" We got everybody in here tonight. We got all our Outlaw family in here. Well, not all, but we got most. Y'all welcome to the show. Please share the show. Please share the show. I'm glad to have you here. So I wanted to add this too. This is a caveat that I picked up over the weekend. My wife just happened to be listening to something. I don't know. She may have been on YouTube. I don't know what she was on, but it was a documentary about Africans being in the United States of America before slavery. Okay. And and it was the narrator that was narrating this. So when I say she, there was a lady who was narrating it. She talked about the fact that Africans had already been in the United States, or what will become the United States, because of their many. They were explorers as well, and then some of them had gotten close and maybe crashed. The boats had sank, or their vessels had gotten lost, and so when they came ashore, they were befriended by Native Americans, and through that association, there became Black Indians. Okay. And so they were saying how the Indians embraced the Africans, and then the Africans then embraced the Native American culture. And so they became tribes that were basically identified as Black Indians, but then came with the United States and the establishment of the United States, in which they wanted to break everything down by race. So what they did was they refused to acknowledge that there were African Indians or Black Indians. They pretty much just said either you're Black or you're Indian, just to separate and keep us, put a wedge in between us or anybody who would support us. My whole point in saying that is, and people say, well, that's the problem with FBA and this and that, because it ain't all about the people who came over here and was slaves. Because Black people of color here before. If you can trace your lineage to being a Black and Native American kind of thing, then you're FBA, point blank and period. One of the 5 civilized tribes of Indians or Native Americans is Choctaw, which is, I know there's some Choctaw in my family. If you see a picture of my grandmother, she looked like a Native American, and she told me that her mom was a Native American, and so it's in my blood as well. So you're FBA. So for people who try to cause confusion and dissension, to say, well, they're FBA because there's Africans here before slavery. Okay, granted, I'll give you that, but then that makes them more foundational Black American than anybody as well, doesn't it? So I just say I'd like to acknowledge that, yes, there were Africans here before slavery.
Yes.
And that there were and still is some Native American tribes that have intersected with Africans over the years, and you can look at them and tell. And so, and like I said, it's in my own family. My dad's mother, she looked every bit of a Native American, and she could break it down to you, the whole deal. So, I would like to acknowledge that and say, yes, they are FBAs as well. See, one thing you can't do is you can't deny lineage. So all the people who hate FBA and they're constantly looking for a way to discredit this movement, there's a reason why they have not been successful in doing so yet.
Exactly.
Because the truth is the truth, right? So
it's so funny if you think about it. That it is not white racists trying to come after us. It's ignorant ass Black people that do the exact same thing and do the same work for the Satan. The lineage of evil, as some like to say. Wild work, man.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge, because I know people who sometimes they go out and they start to read or they start to listen to other things. They may say, well, this that FBA shit that KB be on, and then you get a piece of knowledge and you say, see, I can shoot holes in that theory. But you really can't. It's bulletproof. It's bulletproof. And it's really all about us identifying us. So I never understood, why is it a problem when we say, hey, let's define who we are, and where we're at in this country. Like everybody else does it. I don't understand why it's an issue when we do it. So if Jamaicans can be Jamaican and Puerto Ricans can be Puerto Ricans, then why can't foundational Black Americans be foundational Black Americans?
And it's funny though.
Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans, well, they got an island or a country.
But we got a country too. It's called America.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. They want to act like America is not ours. Like, I'll give you an example, right? It's different. It's a lighter example, but it's still an example of unity. I was my buddy fought on the zone. This was last week on the Bam Rodriguez card, right? All these Mexican people were there, rooting for the fighter that they wanted to win, which was Bam Rodriguez. And by the way, Bam Rodriguez, he put on a masterclass performance. He knocked Vargas out, I believe, in the 6th round, and I called it. Felt good about that. But with that said, though, any other fighter on the ticket that won that was not Mexican, they booed him. You know what I mean? Like, it just shows everyone else roots for their people. Like, there was a fight. Excuse me. There was a Turkish fighter there. The people from Turkey, what did they do, Kev? They rooted for the Turkish fighter that won. The Mexicans booed him. Now me, the black fighter was there. I rooted for the black fighter. You know what I mean? He didn't win, but I rooted for him just because he was black. But I gave respect to the Mexican fighter when he won. So it's just weird, man. I'm with you on that because you see it in all walks, bro. Like you cannot be a black American and be prideful. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. They just don't want you to do it. No, something wrong when you do it. So I don't know, man. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being FBA and trying to be prideful and claiming America is ours. I don't know, maybe because we built this place. You know what I'm saying? It's just weirdo shit, man. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me that and this comes from black people. Black people want to shoot a hole in a theory, right? But then if you ask them how they identify, they have no clue. Because please don't say, well, I'm an African American. You're not an African American because you are not African. You're not African.
You come from African descent.
My grandfather was Nigerian. Okay. Or you can say, my parents were, from Liberia. Okay. But cool. If you got to go back to 5, 6, 7 generations to find an African person, you've kind of lost that. You're no longer African. You just American. And in America, what they call us is black. Black people only come from America. There's no such thing as an English black person. No such thing as an English black person. Because if you ask the people of color in England what their nationality is, they'll say I'm Nigerian or I'm Kenyan or whatever. Yep. It's like you're asking Giannis, what is he? He'll say I'm Greek. Please, I mean,
And speaking of him, for all the sports fans out there, Giannis should have already been traded. Yeah, either I know that the Celtics were the finalists, and I think Jaylen Brown is part of that trade package. So
we'll see. I'll take that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll take that too. Hell yeah.
He's a bad dude. Kerry Walker says, I was at North every day with my daughter. I was a very familiar face at my children's schools as well. So I didn't really have to go to King much because my daughter was kind of just a monster on her own. Like she pretty much took care of everything. But when there was time for support, I was there. But my son, I had to show up for him a couple different times. But I didn't mind. It was my job. Yeah. Mama Jenkins said, KB, is that the rag bologna with the red skin and the red sausage? Well, it's Brian. Brian's color are red. I don't know. It's so much different stuff. But it just says Brian on it. So anything Brian, the hot dogs and the lunch meat, the bologna, all of that stuff was what we would eat when my grandmother would take us to town. That's the first thing my brother and I grabbed because it's something we could cook in the middle of the day before she, prepared dinner. So, but it was delicious, man. And my brother actually came from Mississippi a couple years ago and brought me some Brian bologna, and it was still good. If memory serves me correct.
Is that the name of it, Brian bologna?
The company is called Brian, but we ate the bologna and the hot dogs from there. So I don't know what other lunch meats they make, but I say Brian bologna because that's what it was called, Brian bologna. But it's red and white. That is definitely it. That's it. That's the logo.
It's funny you say that because now that you say that, my granddaddy used to eat that too. Yeah, he loved it. He tried to get it at Fast and Friendly, and when they didn't have it, he was so pissed. He was so mad.
My brother and myself, man.
He was like, y'all need to order some of that. He's like, y'all need to order some of that shit now.
We used to tear it up, man. We used to be so happy with a big ass bag of chips. Me and my brother sitting on the porch in the country. Eating a bologna sandwich with some mustard.
I always wanted to live because I never wanted to live in Georgia.
Say that again, Ian.
I never wanted to live in Georgia because I got half my dad's family's down there because the other half live in Arizona now. Never wanted to live in Georgia, but I always loved Mississippi. I don't know why. It's just something about Mississippi. Maybe because my uncle's in Mississippi. When we got up in the morning, we started the day off. No bullshit. Was going to get eggs, making breakfast. Mm-hmm. And because I wasn't in school, the rest of the day was reserved for riding horses and shooting guns. I'm talking about till 6 p.m. at night. We were shooting guns. Whatever gun he had. And my Uncle John, God rest his soul, he had a whole shed. Literally, dude, he had like 300-400 guns. Different ones, 25s, 22s, everything. It was the best, most fun I ever had in my life. Those were the best 2 weeks every year when we went to Louisville. You know what I mean? I loved it, man. And then you had all your land, and Great America tried to buy land from the Coleman family, and they just wouldn't. My uncle and them, they wouldn't sell it, and it was just beautiful, man. It was a beautiful place.
Well, I'm not so much as a proponent of the South now, but as a child, some of my great memories was, my parents were from Mississippi, both of them.
Yeah.
So every
I
summer,
love the South.
we were going. I knew this. We went 2-3 times a year most of the time.
Yeah.
So my memories are similar to yours. Waking up in the morning, my aunties
Yeah.
have prepared these huge country breakfasts
Yeah.
with so much food that it'll make you fall out. And then we running around with fireworks. Fireworks is another part of it.
Oh yeah. Fireworks too. I forgot. My cousins and them had the fireworks.
We stop at Boomland on the way down, and my dad would buy my brother and I both a bag of fireworks. So, and then guns too. It was my family love guns. So, yeah, it was. Those are childhood memories that you don't forget. But as I got older, I became more of a city boy, and I'm like, I'm cool on the South. Like
Man, I don't know why. I hate here. And Milwaukee ain't even that big.
I'm good.
It ain't even about the violence. I just like the commute. Like, there's no way in the hell. Me and my friend be arguing every day. There's no way in the hell that it should take you 30 minutes to get anywhere in Milwaukee. All this fucking construction there broke the lanes down to one lane, and you just be like, fuck this. I left from 20th and Brown, because that's where I've been at the last couple of weeks. I left from there 2:53. I damn near didn't get home to 3:30. Come on, man. And then the killer part about it, I missed the light twice. And the killer part about it, we was all in line. I don't know what the fuck was going on. There wasn't no accident or nothing. The light on 27, finally, like I said, fuck this. Every day I'll be like, I just want to live in a town. You know what? And to keep it real with you, like I tell people, it's not so much about the South for me. I just want to be away from people. Like, I wouldn't mind moving to Wyoming. Ain't number 500,000 people there through the whole state, but I know it's not people that look like me there, so it's not going to be as
I think it's more than 500,000 people in the state.
No, go Wyoming. Wyoming ain't got number 500,000 people. Listen, man, when you talk to me, I'm damn near almost like it be shit that I know about that I'm going to say. Wyoming, the whole state, ain't got number 5. They was just talking about Wyoming the other day. It said Cheyenne. They was talking about places where black people would come up. It was Nashville, Wyoming, and I was like, Wyoming? And then the one people on the radio, they were like, well, I don't know about Wyoming, this and that. Like Wyoming and Montana, they don't have a lot of population of people. No, they don't have a lot of population.
It's 500.
88,000.
500. Well, okay. It's in 2020, it's 576,000. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I love the mood. I love our weather here. I don't want to be down south with the goddamn moth in my house as big as a hummingbird that I might have to tear my house up killing. But for the simple fact is that I'm more accepted down south than I will be in Wyoming. You feel what I'm saying? And these Caucasians
you ain't gonna be accepted in Wyoming or Montana. I can tell you that right now.
I was in Montana. That was the craziest experience in my life. Now, granted, I was very reasons I shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
Pam Grier was from Wyoming. You wouldn't even believe that. Though when she said, "Yeah, I'm born around there," what? And remember, she was a superstar back then.
I spent enough time in North Dakota. I spent enough time in North Dakota, and Montana is a neighboring state. Wyoming is that whole area. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool on that. Let me get this chat room. Kerry Walker says we all got some Indian in us. LOL. Mama Jenkins said I'm going to the old country store in Philadelphia. They got everything we like, and it's owned by an old white man and Indian. Okay. Yeah, that's where you get that good smoked meat at. Brennan Hayes says Dr. Umar. Erica said my uncle used to put a whole log of that Mississippi bologna. He used to eat a whole log? Ace Cooley in the chat room, he said catfish, perch, and potato pancakes for breakfast in Mississippi. I love Mississippi as well. Close community. She said he used to put it on the grill. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. I'm going to be down there milling out the world.
Kerry Walker said, I hate the South. My memories were the biggest damn bugs there are. You know what, Kerry? You and me are the same, because one thing that I remember very vividly about my time as a child in the South that I hated the most was the array of bugs that would bite the shit out of you. Even down there. So like I'm from the concrete. So when we sit and we be playing as kids, you see an ant, we might take a magnifying glass and burn the ant up, or we let the ant crawl all on your hand and all this. You don't do that shit in Mississippi. They have fire ants. Those ants will bite the living shit out of you.
Yeah.
There's horse flies, there's red bugs, there's ticks,
snakes,
wasps. I mean, that's the first thing I remember when I was little and I would be down there. Is like I hated the bugs. Like I can't.
I'm gonna have me some chicken.
Oh God, it's gonna be good too. By the way,
your chickens ain't gonna eat all of them. You stand in the wrong place.
As long as they get enough of them.
Them ants will get on your ass and tear you apart. Erica Hunt said, "I loved our Mississippi family trips in the summertime as a little girl. I enjoyed them as a little kid, but as I got older,
it was different when we got older. The memory is different when
you can't just give me a pack of firecrackers and expect me to go entertain myself no more as I got older. So
yeah,
just that solitude and that peace, like man, all I want to do is just come home and go to work. And the weekend, I'm going to the town to go to the market, have my dogs, have me about 10 dogs running around on my property, and just enjoying my
That's
life.
what my brother does. He's in Romance, Arkansas. He got like 30 acres and like 10 dogs.
Oh, cool.
A says Montana way too close to racist ass Idaho. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That whole area of the country is
kind of fucked up over there.
Us. Yeah, it's
I don't know why either.
Not a very welcoming. And I know North Dakota has changed because they found the oil up there or whatever. But when I was there, it was just like not a place where we were welcome. Like they said it to you by the way they looked at you, like just kind of like, like nigga, what you doing here? Kerry Walker said everything bite back. You are correct. So it's Outlaw Radio Live on a Monday evening. Y'all welcome aboard. Please chime into the conversation. We started off talking about Juneteenth Day. I was very proud of my city because, number one, we were one of the first major cities to have a Juneteenth celebration. And we have one of the largest, if not the largest one in the country. And it went down. And if you know Milwaukee, like I know Milwaukee, this is something for all of us to be proud of. No violence, no incidents, right? Like, and it was a lot of people. When I looked at that picture, I was blown away. Like, this is crazy. But I wanted to just kind of say, well, what was the purpose? And
I ain't even go this year.
And I also want to know how we can make this more impactful. Something that big, with that many people, that many of us kind of networking and being around each other, it should have tremendous, tremendous benefits for our community. I like to know what they are or come up with a plan to kind of make those impacts bigger. So if you got an opinion, please chime in. Shout out to everybody that's listening. Like I said, tell a friend to tell a friend. The show's on the air. Please share the show.
Hey,
something very interesting happened this weekend too. All of a sudden, I seen that a young man from the Milwaukee Courier was able to someone was finally able to get an interview from the commander, Mike McGee Sr. Okay.
Yeah, he don't do a lot.
Not at all. When I was with the Panthers, I tried for a very long time. I wanted to get the commander on. I could never get him on. But he did do this interview. And I don't feel no kind of way about that. Some people do, right? But he basically, his sentiments when asked about the city of Milwaukee pretty much reflected what we've been saying here on this show for a very long time. Number one, in terms of the vacuum in leadership. Somebody got me an echo. Who was that? Somebody gave me an echo.
I don't even hear it.
Of course, I can hear everything in these headphones. But there's a vacuum of leadership here. And what he said was, we got all these black elected officials. We got a black mayor. There should be way more change, which is something we've said a million times here on the show. He questioned how could we have so many black common council members and the president be a Latino. A lot of sentiments that you hear on Outlaw Radio in terms of the city of Milwaukee. He expressed. If you don't know who Mike McGee Sr. was, I think you probably need to go back and do some research. Yeah. In my opinion, he is probably the most important black leader we've had in this city. Of course, I give Father Grappi a lot of credit for being the most important leader, period.
Yeah, for sure.
We've ever had in the city. But in terms of black men, Mike McGee you can't top it just because he was so vocal about everything that was bothering black people in this city. He got into making real action, like really coming up with solutions, forcing our leadership to pass things, legislation that would help the black community. So it was one of the most incredible times to be black in Milwaukee. My mom absolutely loved Mike McGee Sr. Anytime he was on the news, I had to sit there and watch it in its entirety. If he was in the newspaper, my mother, she made me sit there and read it. When he was on the radio, I had to listen
My mom
to
too.
it.
Yeah, she loved him. She was like, Ian, this man could have been anywhere, but he decided to fight for the people here. Milwaukee is so damn racist. Yep, and that's she loved Mike McGee.
Yeah, fellow Rufus King General, right? Okay, I'll give it up.
Yeah,
For
he
that.
the man. He was the man, or is the man
That
still.
dude. That's why they called him the commander. And the one time I got to meet him, it was funny because I'm not a dude. I'm not really ever impressed by like names and titles
No,
but I was just kind of starstruck. Just the general introduced me, Kevin. This is who you've been wanting to meet. This is the commander, and I just kind of stood there with a dumbass look on my face, right? And he shook my hand and said, "How you doing, young brother?" And I just was like, "Oh man!" Like I wanted to go to interview and right there, but we were helping them pack up their stuff so they can move. They were getting ready to relocate out of Milwaukee. And it was fun. Everybody just laughed because it's like, dude, we've never seen you quiet before. Like, yeah, I couldn't. I was just like, man, it was like meeting like somebody who's like, if I could have met Jim Brown or one of the people who I grew up looking at as a hero in our community. But yeah, it was a dope experience. Carrie Walker said she was proud of Juneteenth this year. Okay. I'm proud of it too because it wasn't no violence. Mama Jenkins said, I'm inviting all y'all to the good life. We got 2 trailers, so come enjoy the country life. I hate those stinking ass bugs. That's why I get in the car and out. Ain't no sitting on the porch waving. Everybody in Mississippi be sitting on that porch waving. Erica Hunt said, listen to y'all talk about the bugs. I appreciate my OGs keeping me on the porch. Yeah, ain't no. We was running around, man. All my cousins, we'd all be there at the same time. So it's probably about 20 kids running around the house, man. We all up down in the pasture and down messing with the pigs and chasing chickens, all kinds of craziness. So yeah, you're gonna get bit by something. Ace Cooley said Mike McGee was a G. Well, I don't know if he was a G. I know he was a hell of a leader. I'll tell you that much.
Hell yeah.
Hell of a leader, right? I get what you're saying. I'm just making a play on word Ace. If you know, you know. Mama Jenkins said that was a great article, and my prayers go for his health. I've been saying that for years. Commander was the real shit. Yes, he was. And shout out to Mike Jr., who I'm very cool with. And I had heard some years back, I seen Mike out and about, and he had told me that his dad was facing some health issues. And it was funny because he said, a lot of people don't know this, so you don't have to say nothing. But I know you a person who really looked up to Pops and cared about Pops. I'm like, you know it, because when I was with the Panthers, that was my thing. I thought that would be one of my biggest purposes of joining the Panthers. Once I found out that, the general had been his personal bodyguard and that he was kind of extending the Panther militia that the commander had started, I thought I'm going to get to meet Mike McGee Sr. That was the first thing I thought. And then I didn't realize, things done changed, man. He's not out here on this no more. So check that article out. It's in the People's News Network. And you'll see, like I said, a lot of things we talk about here in terms of how broken a city like Milwaukee can be at times in terms of leadership. A lot he echoed a lot of that, man. So it was dope. I just shout out to the brother who got that interview, man. I tried, y'all. I tried for years to get it. I could never get him. I wanted to interview him on when I used to do the Panther Power Hour. I did their podcast for years. I could never get the commander on. Could never get him on because he was just intent on being on where he was at in his life. I think for a minute he didn't want nothing to do with Milwaukee. I think he was kind of like forget Milwaukee, So yeah. It's dope that they were able to get an interview from him because he deserves to be heard, man. And like the article states, I know Mike said he was trying to get a street named after him. There absolutely should be a street named after him and a park. I tried to get a bust of him in the park. And that was one of the unfortunate things about me separating from the Panthers when I did, because I didn't get to continue the movement to get the bust. We want to get a bust of him made so we can put in the park. But I never did get that done. So shout out to him and the entire McGee family, man. Truman, everybody in the family. Erica Hunt said, "I respect Mr. McGee." Yeah, you should. Yeah, he was front line, man. Front
Yeah,
line.
he was on the front line.
Front line. And wasn't scared. Wasn't scared. One of the
Oh,
funniest things I remember as a youngster growing up is that someone had put out a warning that allegedly the sausage at Usinger's was poisoned, right? And Usinger's is a staple of Milwaukee. So the sausage and the lunch meat, and they were panicking like, "Yo, it's poison in the meat," and they were blaming him, saying it's probably him and his militia.
I
And
do
then I just
remember that.
him on the news eating the eating the Usinger's sausage, like, "Yo, what you talking about? Ain't nothing wrong. This is some good sausage." Like, it was hilarious, man. I just got such a crack out of that back in the day.
Hold on, I want to say one thing for everybody that's sports fans, high school sports fans. I think the schedule is out. My homeboy is in his first year. His name is Carlos Rattler. He is the head football coach of Bradley Tech. For everybody that grew up on Meineke, y'all know who Los is. And obviously, we all changed our lives or whatever. But he is the head football coach at Bradley Tech. And he's going to be on Friday. I'm going to have him on, and we're going to talk a little bit about Milwaukee football, because I believe they play a couple of different schools, Catholic Memorial, all the way to Bayview. And it's going to be very interesting just to, see his thoughts on, as far as the development of Milwaukee sports. Because remember, Kev, it was about a month or two ago, he had chimed in the comments, and you were like, yeah, because, you were a coach too. So y'all kind of it was on a different level. You knew exactly what he was talking about when he talked about some of the politics. And now that his contract, he was able to go sign with somebody else, head football coach at Bradley Tech, man. I'm excited. Excited for him.
Good luck. Good luck.
That's what I said. Yes, it's tough. Their division looked tough, though. I'm going to do some more research, bro. But, yeah,
City Conference football is tough. It's tough. It's
so
tough.
many good players, man. So many great athletes, like,
a lot of athletes and really a lot of poor programs because they haven't been built up. And a lot of times the schools don't support. Football is one of those sports that takes a lot of administrative support.
Yeah.
And parental involvement if you really want a power program. And unfortunately, most of our MPS schools, especially city schools, just don't have it. They don't have a lot of them don't have a coach who understands how to build a program either. So, good luck. I'm sure he'll do pretty good over there.
He did good in Washington too. He did very well at Washington. So
which is also a very tough haul. Trust me, I was there. I know what Washington.
I know you were.
Trust me. But I want to get to Charleston White. Okay, so Charleston White, listen, for years, man, Charleston White has been running kind of crazy in the black media. It started out with him insulting rappers. He's insulted gang members. Yeah. He's insulted pretty much every section of black people. But there was also a part of Charleston White that was supposedly him as a community organizer, someone who worked with children, someone who wanted the best for our communities. And so he's done a lot of work with young people and this kind of thing. But man, some of the most incredulous shit that you could say about black people to black people in a public forum has come from Charleston White. And some of it is just like
that roguish ass nigga saying now.
So it was no surprise to me. First of all, it was a surprise when the whole Carmelo Anthony thing happened and Charleston White came out saying he supported the family. He was going to give them, I believe, $75,000 for legal fees and this kind of thing. Somewhere along the way, there was some kind of breakdown in communication between him and Carmelo Anthony's dad. And so he then came back and said, no, I'm not going to give them any money. I no longer support the family. He said he had personal issues with the dad. He didn't like how the parents moved. And then he came with supporting the father of the victim. He was supporting him. And we know he came out and made a bunch of racist comments in the media and whatever. But then there's this term that Metcalf's father came up with was they were calling Carmelo the watermelon felon. And so over the weekend, I guess Charleston White started. Now he's selling watermelon felon T-shirts with the picture of Carmelo Anthony with the watermelon on his head, and he's taking this opportunity once again to this not just Carmelo's dad, but Carmelo. See, the thing is this: Carmelo's a kid. He's fighting a case. He's been convicted. He's in the penitentiary. And if you got a problem with the dad, you got a problem with the dad. Why do you need to be foul mouth towards the child? And this is the thing. Then that turns into now you're critical of the entire black community. But keep in mind, this is an individual who has stated on record that he loves white people and that he wishes he could be white and that he enjoys seeing white races. He supports Chad the Builder, talking about how he was a hero. All kinds of different things Charleston White has said that have been counterproductive to the black community. My question is, how come? Because we talk about we live in this cancel culture society and all this kind of stuff. How come we have not canceled him yet? Because he still gets a lot of views on YouTube. He still gets paid for interviews. And like everybody was mad at what this UFC fighter said about Michelle Obama. If you listen to what Charleston White said about black women, period, when Kamala Harris announced her candidacy to run for president, I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. I never heard anybody disrespect black women to the level that he went in on black women in when he made his comments about how he would never vote for a black woman and black woman ain't shit. And it was crazy. And nobody said a word. But now people are upset because of the Carmelo Anthony thing. The only thing I say is, if we want to shut a lot of these people down, like when we talk about these black MAGAs and all these kinds of people, what we have to do is we just have to stop paying them any attention. Their livelihood is based on us paying them some attention, giving them clicks, following their pages, watching their interviews. If we stop doing that, they will go away. If we start to ignore them and let them know, we don't want to hear shit you have to say. We don't want to hear it. They will go away. So I would encourage anybody, and believe me, I'm not easily offended, but when somebody that's black is going against black people in a very egregious way, then you're going to get me kind of looking funny. Like, because I'm going to be like, yo, what the hell is this, man? So, but I ignore him. I do not watch his videos. I don't watch his interviews. I scroll past him all the time. I would encourage everybody else to do the same.
Yeah, I ain't never looked at one of them though, because he doesn't.
I don't fuck with him.
Like I don't know. He's not a Umar or Eddie Gordy or a Tavis Smiley or
I don't like none of them.
One dude named Lamont. What's the name? He's not Dr. Carr. He's nobody where he has like an educational background, and I can sit up there and actually. Like, I don't listen to WAC 100. I don't listen to too many of those people that don't have institutional backing behind them. You know, like a PhD or MD or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I never really listened to him to even like to listen to any of his rhetoric to be like, okay, this guy. You know.
Believe me, there are a lot of people who do. He has millions of views. And usually when he does an interview, it sends ripples through whatever he was talking with, whatever industry he's addressing, especially with the rappers. And he's not an ignorant dude. He actually, sometimes if you listen to him, he'll make a small amount of sense, but it's usually wrapped up in a bunch of different layers of bullshit. And for
he
me,
actually used to do shit with the Nation of Islam, Kev.
Say that again.
He used to do shit with the Nation of Islam. It's so fucking weird. I researched him. I don't really watch a lot of his shit, but the thing is though, because he's so polarizing to so many different people, I was like, let me do a deep dive on his history. Apparently they killed somebody, him and his friend killed someone. He was the one that basically told or whatever. I'm not knocking the snitch and shit. I don't give a fuck about any of that. But what I am saying is he found a lane to make money. And I just, it really breaks my brain that so many people watch this shit. Like, I haven't seen anything from him. Honestly, I saw one video of him and it was him getting arrested and he got pulled over or something or whatever. That was it. And the only reason I watched it is because some of the clips I've read and some of the things that I've seen, like him saying he's a Trump supporter and then people saying it's a character. I'm like, yeah, Charlie Kirk was a character too. But when real life meets, you know, you're a caricature of who you are or who people think you are, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't really support it. Kev, you just said exactly the point that everyone needs to kind of embrace. Stop clicking these fucking videos. They get paid from you clicking the videos because it enhances the algorithm. And once the algorithm is enhanced, then people, it goes to more platforms and they can sell products or whatever they do. But yes, if you want to support a motherfucker, support the Mr. Tenderism guy that got fucked over by his business partner when he was at the restaurant, when he was cooking all the meat, and the dude tried to act like he wasn't shit. And then when Mr. Tenderism went, I guess he went solo or whatever, he left the company, he was down bad for about a week. Then Ron Isley called his ass, had him come cater a party. Then Akon called him to come cater a party. You know what I mean? They really looked out for that brother. These are the people we need to support. I mean, if you want to support something and watch something interesting, and if you love your celebrity so much, Mr. Tenderism, he does videos where he's with rappers and stuff all the time. I'm with you, Kev. I can't support this stuff. It just breaks my brain that it's the level of ignorance is so high. It's just weird.
Well, the whole point is not, because I'm not one who thinks we are a monolith and we can't be criticized or corrected, because there's a lot of things that I talk about on here that Black people have to be taken to task for. But I'm very aware and very careful not to talk down to my people, and I'm never going to be disrespectful towards my people. So it's one of those things, man, where I feel like that's a message I don't need to hear. And I'm also somebody who you don't need to be very, very ignorant to get my attention for me to listen, to learn something. I don't need shock value to learn something. I understand media, right? But I just feel like he's somebody who we should be making sure we get rid of with the quickness. Mama Jenkins says that's another thing. They have names, schools, parks, and streets after all these people. Not one of those Black Common Council members that I know of have said nothing about him. No, they haven't. Our Common Council right now, they don't say nothing. It's a lot of stuff they don't say nothing about. Like this is one of the lamest common councils that we've had. And believe me, the one prior to this, they didn't do a whole lot either, but they were at least visible. I don't even know who a lot of these people are if I see them, because you just don't hear about them. You don't see them. A says it wasn't any breakdown. He said that to make money, and he was going to give that money to Carmelo. He plays both sides. Mama Jenkins said Charleston White is a fucking idiot and a punk. Yeah, and he'll talk a lot of shit to you and then call the police on you. You come get his ass. She said, that's it. I stopped listening a long time ago. All right, Mama Jenkins, you got the right idea. She said,
I did some research on the case, though.
She said a lot of those motherfuckers Dion mentioned, I don't listen to some of them, but to reach their own.
Yeah, I don't reach to each their own. But the thing is, though, I researched the case. I asked my attorney too. I asked both my attorneys. And the one my mom has, and I also asked a criminal attorney, a friend of our family. They all said the same thing from the details. And this is before some video came out, and I haven't seen the video. So this is my opinion without the video. I would have just left, because I'm different. I'm like, if I'm there and I got to stab you up, or if I got to clap you, I don't want no witnesses there anyway. So if I'm really finna fuck you up, I'm just going to wait until you by yourself. I'm gonna kill your ass if I'm gonna kill you. So I don't understand. So it just sounds like it was a panic move. It sounded like he got surrounded, he reacted, and whatever. Because I always
what video are you referencing? You talking about Carmelo?
Yeah, they said it's a video where he was getting jumped and all kind of shit. I haven't seen it, so I don't know if it exists or not. But people were telling me, but I've been busy with other shit, so I don't know. But from the stuff I heard, just research. You said what?
They doctored that video.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anything, so I don't know. I just heard there was a video there's one video out that apparently strengthens his case. And then there's another video out that disparages him even more. I don't know. Just as far as what I know, I've been in situations where, like when I was in Butte, Montana, when them cats started acting funny when we was at the gas station, we didn't want no problem. Me, and I ain't gonna say no names because I just mentioned him tonight. But we were on our way to Seattle, and literally these dudes just start calling us niggers and stuff, just out the blue for no reason. We could have handled that business right there, but it was witnesses around. We was at a gas station. We was on a Greyhound. Why would we do that? But the difference is, I know I grew up in the hood. I grew up on 28th and Meineke. Started off on 13th and Capitol. So I know, like, okay, I'm out of town. I don't want whatever. But who knows where Carmelo's family, you know, how he was taught, how he was brought up. You know what I mean? He might not have been told that. He might just be a reactionary. I don't know. But I know if my son got stabbed, I'd feel a certain way about it. So I don't know the situation. I'm not sure about what happened. And I've been doing a little bit of a deeper dive. It just seems like, dog, I just wish he would have removed himself, or why was he even in a tent and they the opposite team? Just weirdo shit. And I'm not saying he should have got pushed or hit or anything like that, because he shouldn't have. But did he put himself in a bad situation? It's a lot of questions that will never be answered about that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Hold on, Ace. Hold on, Ace. Let me get to my chat room first.
Yeah, for sure.
Ernest said, man, Charleston is a lost ass, fool ass nigga. And they gave that fool the money.
$1 million. Sure.
He said Charleston White is a virus. You don't cure a virus, you kill it. Orlando is a virus too.
Oh God.
And then Kerry said it was a track meet. It was a track meet. So I got Ace Cooley on the line. Ace, what's on your mind, man? How you doing?
Yeah.
I'm all right, man. Over here eating a little solid whatnot, but I'm chiming in, man, because I'm hearing some of the stuff y'all talking about. Number one, I'm gonna start with Dude right there when we was talking about Carmelo. Dude was when you look at that case, you know, number one, it's common for if you had a track meet down Texas, they sit under each other's tents. That's number one. Okay, he was invited over there, and what happened is those two boys basically came through. And whoever invited set him up, man. They set him up. Now, the knife that he had, number one, it wasn't a real knife. It was one of those utility knives. It had a screwdriver, all kind of, but he was using clean cleats with. Matter of fact, it wasn't even illegal. It's just that they sensationalized it with that. Okay. But when the boys got there, matter of fact, that's why they didn't want his brother to testify. They didn't let him testify. He's the one who started the fight. What's the brother's name? Not Austin, but
the other one. I know who you're talking about, though.
I don't know the brother's name.
I know who you're talking about, though.
He's the one that threw the first blow. Okay, because there were some other people that made statements there. What happened? And there's two other people that was there. They tried to jump him. You know what happened is he falls on the Austin Metcalf guy, and that's he juked him right there because he was getting jumped, and he jumped up and he took off. You know, but here's the thing, Kev. You knew the shit was janky anyway when they hid that whole trial. They said the trial would not be publicized. Matter of fact, the video would not be publicized. You know, you knew something messed up was going to happen at that point, because that's what they do. They want to be able to control that narrative. Because if they had something on him where he was immediately guilty, it would have came out right away. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the way the court plays, matter of fact, the court don't even give a damn if you innocent or guilty. They only care about a successful conviction. You know, and I know this just because I've had to deal with the court system a few times on the criminal side. But you got to, know how to play that game. And unfortunately, I don't know what was up with this goddamn lawyer he had, but he never put him on the stand, because once again, this is a 3.7 student, never been in trouble in his life. Also risked his life just to save somebody from drowning. So, and then you turn around and give him 35 years when the sentencing conditions was anywhere from 5 to 99. And if he didn't qualify for 5, I don't know what the hell will. You see what I'm saying? But dude, at the end of the day, this is that town. And now, come to find out, several people know each other, the father within the judicial system. That's when now the daddy talking shit when they convicted this guy. But we're going to see how this all play out later on. But I mean, I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. And it shouldn't. Black people pretty mad behind that, because this came, you got to remember, this also came out after Ricky Child, whatever his name is, bullshit. Yeah. That 2 weeks was a motherfucker, for us. And we got people out here ready to go. They said, fuck it. If our only option is to get our ass beat, possibly die, well, motherfucker, we going to take you with us. That's just what it is. And that's how it should be. And if anything, they made it worse for white people, because You fuck with us. You know how many white people got whooped just for saying nigga this week alone?
You know, it's
I'm
funny. It's funny you bring that up, Ace. It's funny you bring that up because I was just having a conversation with someone about exactly what you're saying. And it just drives me nuts because the thing with Carmelo, I just don't want it to become something to where it's like, oh, see, because they try to make it seem like we do all the crimes and all that. But y'all know that already. But the problem is just cosmetically, just this case. And now I've talked to multiple attorneys. Him being pushed or even being jumped is not escalatory enough for him to stab him and kill him. Period. Yeah, there's no arguing that. Like I don't know. Like, I mean, was his life in danger for real? Was it kids jumping him? Was it a situation because apparently he knew him? Because it sounds to me, it just sounds to me like, you know, if he would have just said when they was fucking with him, if he would just walked away, you know, called his people like, hey, they fucking with me or whatever, and it would have been a big brawl. It would have been different.
And they say Texas is a stand your ground state, though.
And that's what I'm talking
about. Different, though, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All these different scenarios and shit. I don't know.
But here's the thing, man. We've got killed. Black kids have gotten killed for less from wearing headphones and can't hear. You know.
Yeah, no, but that's a different situation, and that's all I'm saying. Like, it sounds to me. And I'm just being unbiased when I hear it or whatever. It just sounds to me like, and you said it was a setup. I'm gonna go from the flip side of shit. Like, it's from what I heard, he knows Austin Metcalf. Is that accurate?
So I thought, hold on. I thought so.
He didn't know them.
This is where I need more information on. I was under the impression that they all went to the same school. I thought Austin.
No, they didn't go to the same school.
No, they went to a different school, KB. Yeah, that's what I heard. Because at first I thought the same thing. Yeah, no, they don't.
Okay.
So they don't, unless they knew, like maybe they knew each other. I don't know. It just sounds like he just made a bad decision, bro. Like he shouldn't, because I've been in situations like that where I've been at events. Like I was on the South Side once and I was at my guys' game when they was hooping. We were strapped. It was some LKs. They was talking shit. We just left. We didn't put them in a position for we can get jumped. We was all in the same area. They started talking. We was like, I looked at my boy. He looked at me. We had about 3 or 4 people with us. We left. I just don't understand why. Like could the brother not leave?
So what happened? Regardless of the minor details,
he broke and ran after half.
Regardless of the minor details or the technical parts of this case. And I said this last week or 2 weeks ago.
It's messed up, bro.
Biggest issue here is the double standard that's illustrated. It puts the double standard on blast that in this country, there have been so many documented cases of a black person being murdered at the hands of a white person.
Oh, yeah.
And that white person's excuse is that I fear for my life.
Yeah.
And they were exonerated in court and able to go free. And here's a young black male.
We just seen him motherfucker get choked out of New York.
Where the ties
and that's what I was gonna say, Daniel Penny. Yeah, that was it. And the motherfucker got rich. After that, he a billionaire.
The terms were different.
Fucked up.
And so what happens? This young man gets 35 years. Not even you're looking at a jury that's not even to say, well, let's not call this murder, let's call it manslaughter. 35 years, first degree homicide, let's put him in the penitentiary. It just further illustrates the double standard. And so, like, on TikTok, all the people who were upset because I compared it to Kyle Rittenhouse and all that, this is why in my mind I'm thinking, well, you can kiss my ass, because the one thing you cannot disagree with is that we have not gotten a fair shake in a court of law when it comes to us and this stand your ground, whatever the law, whatever they might name. I remember years back there was a sister.
That shit don't apply to us.
This is after the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing as well, after the whole George Zimmerman thing with Trayvon Martin. And there was a sister whose husband was like beating on her, and he came to her house and she fired the gun into the ground.
She
was killing years.
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah, I remember that.
So, you know, and we don't even want to talk about what's down in Texas when the white lady busted in the house and killed the brother, and she talking about.
That was the police Botham Jean.
Yeah, Botham
Jean. She only got I think she got a year.
But she got 10 years. She thought she was in her own house and all this shit. Like, it's just too many cases of it being us when the roles are switched. you know, they get to walk and we go to the penitentiary. You know,
they gave us OJ. That was enough.
So, well, you know, and that was even,
and that's the thing.
And even if you know about OJ, if you looked into the OJ case, they had the job of the pressure is to show guilt beyond a shadow of a doubt. There was a lot of doubt in the OJ case when you can prove that Mark Furman was a racist ass cop.
Bro, it was so much reasonable doubt in that shit.
He did not like OJ, so there was a lot of different things that the jury said you're not proving to us that he did this, and that's what people. Well, he was a murderer. He was a murderer. He was guilty. Well, they didn't do the prosecution didn't do a good job of proving it.
Well, they couldn't strike all the black people off the.
So he was exonerated. So you know, it's just anytime a black man goes into court and you look at the jury and they all white, a bead of sweat gonna pop up on your forehead.
I ain't gonna lie though, with the OJ shit, he should have got acquitted though.
You had remember the lady that killed the boy in Minnesota?
He should have got acquitted.
They stopped him for a damn air freshener. That's what I'm thinking about. They stopped him for an air freshener. She said she mistakenly grabbed her gun and she meant to grab her taser, and she shot that boy.
I watched that video. That was so fucked up.
That punk ass, chank ass judge that they had said she don't think she did it on purpose, and she only got a year in prison or a year in jail.
She should have went to jail for the rest of her life.
That's the white man who was an insurance salesman just shadowing some police officers. And they had a brother pulled over and had him laying on the ground, and he came up and talking about the gun discharged by accident. That's what I'm saying. Like the double standard in our justice system. Yeah, that happened probably about 7-8 years ago. It was an older white man who was in some kind of program where he was shadowing law enforcement, just like a ride along, and they pulled over a brother and had him laying on the ground. And I think he said he thought he had his taser. He thought he had the taser, but he had the pistol, and he killed him. So I mean, but it's a million different cases. We be here all night talking about these cases.
Yeah.
So that's the whole sad part about this Carmelo Anthony thing. But what you don't need is you sure don't need a soft shoe raccoon agent of the white man posing as the black man, making more drama outside the courtroom, making it harder on the family. We already got to deal with the fact that their son has murdered someone, has taken a life, and has to go to prison for 35 years. And now here you go. And I still haven't heard his parents speak. I haven't heard them say, "Yo, no, this is what it is." Because
I have.
I haven't been on it like that.
Charleston White is an unorthodox motherfucker. He's a goddamn fool, you know. But I don't think because what he knew was he was going to try to make some money to try to give to them. And the way he did it, he was going to try to take the white man's money and do it just to say he did it. You know, so he was going to say some fucked up shit about niggas to get that money. He's a fucking fool. That's like the motherfucker sitting there talking about he done rape white bitches and shit like that. And he'll say the same shit about us. Be like, man, shit, I'm a motherfucking character. So I don't trust nothing that the nigga say. No way. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. We need to stop listening to motherfuckers like that because at the end of the day, motherfuckers, because some of these ears is young and they get the wrong idea about some of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at the comments. Ernest says you can't Monday morning quarterback a situation that spontaneously happened.
No, you can't.
I don't know what you talking about the Carmelo
and
Anthony thing?
And let me go one more further, man. You know what? I used to respect Judge Joe Brown. He another fucking idiot that I can't stand no more. That's been making stupid ass statements about that case that he didn't really know shit about, and he will not admit that he's wrong for shit. You know, some of these motherfucking conservative MAGA motherfuckers, just like dude said, they need to be shut the fuck up. We need to stop listening to these motherfuckers.
Yep.
They say some dumbass shit. And the thing about his reputation by motherfuckers liking him so much, they'll listen to that shit and be like, okay, yeah, man, fuck that. Look at the facts of this shit. Fuck these motherfucking, these goddamn actors and these goddamn athletes and shit. Because they some motherfucking fools. They bought and paid for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't disagree.
I agree.
Judge Joe Brown been a curmudgeon for some years now. He's another one who
he hates Vice President Harris. Oh my God. And he hates Tina Turner. I don't know what's wrong with that nigga, bro. Man, that nigga. Oh, you saw that shit, KB? Yeah, I thought I was one of the few people that actually watched the whole interview. I shouldn't have, but I did. Weirdo work, bro. Weirdo shit,
She
though.
hated what's her face too. What's her name? Candace, not Candace Owens. What was the sister's name? Was that
I
her name?
like her. She fine as a motherfucker, but she weird.
Was no the sister who was the down in Texas? They gerrymandered her ass out of there. What was her name?
Oh, you talking about fine ass my girl?
He hated her too. He didn't like her either.
I love Jasmine Crockett, man.
Yeah, I love me.
So we seen the other big news was the opening of the Obama Presidential Center. Is this what this is in Chicago, Illinois? And like everybody was, it's funny that it just coincided with on the heels of the UFC fighter saying that Michelle Obama was a man. But one thing that you see, and that white people are gonna have to realize, and they're gonna have to accept it. There are millions of black people who absolutely love the Obamas, right? And I think the Obamas represent hope for a lot of black people. And I think that's something that you can't really quantify. People look at the Obamas as hope that they can rise above their station in life. And they just absolutely love the ground they walk on. I did hear that there's an issue with some of the contractors. Some of
those are subcontractors.
So the minority subcontractors not being paid, being owed millions of dollars.
The contractors supposed to pay them.
Yeah. So I heard about that, but mostly it was a positive thing. And I listened to Michelle's speech, some of her speech saying to Barack Obama, expressing her love and appreciation for him. And, I think a lot of people, just like there's millions of black people who love the Obamas, there's millions of other people who don't like the Obamas, including a lot of black people. Very harsh criticism of Obama. And your opinion on how he was as a president is what it is or whatever. Like, that's one thing. I will say this. I'm not the biggest Obama fan in terms of his presidency because I think it was a wasted opportunity for black people. But I also think he was 100 times better president than Donald Trump.
1,000,000 times better than this jerk off we got in the White House.
The last two presidents.
So I think when we look at somebody like Obama or anybody that's a polarizing figure from our community, sometimes the focus turns on the negative as opposed to the positive, right? And it's a whole bunch of positives with Barack Obama. A whole bunch of positives.
Yeah, a lot.
There's some criticisms that can be levied his way. Of course, nobody's without fault. But and I think Trump has made it one of his missions is to go after Obama. Like and I'm like, do you realize how long ago he was president, you dumb son of a bitch? Like,
and the fact that so many ride with him when he does that shit, KB, it just shows the lack of intellectual fortitude of these people that follow Trump.
Well, the latest being this Iran deal.
Oh God!
Supposed peace accord. First
$300 billion.
Let's be honest about this. This was a situation the United States had no business in the first place. This was Israel's. This was Israel's business. This should have been them. Now, part of the agreement is that we will give them $300 billion to rebuild, right? And supposedly they've agreed to buy, I guess, produce from the United States of America, but not build a nuclear weapon. But if you do the whole toll on it, because how much did it cost us for this whole military action? I'm being told it was $88 billion just for the whole campaign. And you add that, so we're talking about almost $500 billion wasted on some shit that didn't have anything to do with the United States.
Go get that shit from Israel. That's what I'll do. Get that shit from Israel. We'll back off. Go bust their ass.
It's just another example of something that voters need to remember when it is time to vote. It is another demonstration of ineffective leadership. It is another example of why Trump sucks as a president, right? And so, $300 billion. But there's so much help needed for the people in this country. You don't even want to give Medicaid. Mm-hmm. You don't even want to help elderly people get Medicaid.
No, they about to cut that shit. They were talking about that shit too, openly and freely.
On top of that, Kev, he done fucked the veterans. And they was the biggest Trumpers, with their Medicare and shit like that and their benefits. So I don't know how anybody's supporting this punk ass, truthfully. And as I look at the one thing I say about the Obamas, the one major thing is I would say they represent Black excellence and Black love. This motherfucker's wife bit this lady's speech, copied this lady's speech. Matter of fact, Michelle Obama is a lawyer, attorney, excellence. This bitch known as a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So
what is her educational background?
No, none. Motherfucking immigrant. So I'm just like, dude, how does she compare? How can you compare?
They was talking about that shit earlier. They was talking about
hold on, guys. This is the thing, and I want to reiterate this because I say this all the time and I post it all the time. You have people trying to tell you a woman with not one but 2 Ivy League degrees, who is the most accomplished first lady in history because they're old school. They believe if you Black, you got to be better. You know how that go. That a fucking prostitute whore who participated in sex trafficking is better. You can't take these people seriously. You know what I mean? You can't even let it bother you. They're not serious people, in the wise words of Vice President Harris. They're not serious people. But the fact that they're in control, I get it. It's frustrating. My friends, it is all coming to an end. And it's not about Democrat or Republican. People are just not going to vote for this shit ever again, at least in our lifetime. I'm pretty sure down the line in our kids' lifetime, you'll have another motherfucker like Trump. But we'll never see this again. And it's about to come to an end, and it's about to be bad. So that's my 2 cents.
That's wishful thinking. That's wishful thinking. That's wishful thinking.
It's always going to be a Trump. White people too damn evil, and they
hell yeah.
They outnumbered, man. They outnumbered, and the fact that the birth rate for them is not positive, they're outnumbered, y'all. I'm telling you, and I know it's not even me having wishful thinking. Huh?
And them motherfuckers over there in Great Britain in love with Trump. Like I was watching CNN.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
All right. A lot of these white people feel like I don't even know how to describe it. They feel like they've been overlooked and things not going that way. But to me, that's like almost a baby mentality though, because you're here. So how are you being overlooked? Because somebody got to come work harder than you to move ahead further than you. You can't get mad at that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy. And then I was looking at some shit. Man, dude just spending money like a motherfucker. We ain't even talking about the war. I'm talking about the shit with the White House tearing down, building the ballroom, the goddamn food. It's so much shit going on. It's just like, and the killing part about it, though, I don't think nobody, I don't even know if any Republican probably could do the shit that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Bush
I'm gonna be whoever.
I know they
Republicans that don't support him. There's a lot of
Republicans
that don't support him.
It's MAGA though. It's not the Republicans.
Yeah.
And he definitely has a cult following. Like I'll be watching. This is one white dude. He was on Jubilee, and he was just crushing his white bitch. And he said, "You are the typical Trump supporter. Like the people who don't look at facts." That's just like every time I always say to any Trump supporter.
You talking about Adam Mockler?
Just give me a policy. Just give me a policy. That's all I'm asking for. Give me one policy that the Republican Party. Yeah, just give me one policy that the Republican Party has passed to benefit American people. That's all I ask. Trump has no policies that benefit the everyday person that makes up the United States of America. The 1%ers don't make up the United States of America. They are part of the United States of America. They don't make up the United States of America. You feel what I'm saying? So if you can't give me any type of policy that he has passed to benefit people that look like you and I, and people that don't even look like you and I, people that live in Kewaskum, people that live in Campbellsport, people that live in Eden, them little Peckerwood ass towns, you know what I'm saying? If you can't give me no policy, you're just spitting out shit that you hear, all Biden is this, Obama is like everybody saying, like, why you keep worried about Obama? He been out of office in 2016. That's over 10 years ago. That's over 10 years ago. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So That just be my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So to me, and like, you know, I be listening to a lot of people. It was like people, like a lot of motherfuckers, they was like, well, I just didn't vote for Hillary. You know, I felt like woo, woo, woo. But then at the end of the day, they saying they regret it. They underestimated white folks because I never thought that man would win. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us never thought that man would win. But my whole thing is this: how can you been rich all your life speak to people that doesn't have or never had much as you, and they are behind you? That to me, I don't give a fuck how much racist shit you spit, this, that, and the other. You could live a life where you never even have to encounter black people, Mexicans, nobody. But the average guy that works at the paper mill or works in the foundry or works at the coal mill or whatever he does, you know what I'm saying? He's the guy that got to have interaction with people that doesn't look like him on a certain basis unless they live in their own little small community. So you got a guy that's rich, been rich all his life, and he comes up in here talking this bullshit, and y'all just salivate, you know, y'all gravitate to it. You know what I'm saying? Amazing to me, huh?
Do you think he been rich all his life? Because I don't think so. Why
I don't know, but he's lived.
I'm gonna tell you, he blew a lot of motherfucking money. That's why he didn't want to give his motherfucking
money. I don't know his personal finances, but he lived better than you and I all.
Oh yeah, he better. I mean, he
wanted, even if he was poor and broke or whatever, he still had that name Trump that gave him notoriety. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'm about to mute y'all. I got to deal with these dogs real quick.
The only reason I say this is because the motherfucker.
Ace, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Ewok says, we all know that white people steal, lie, and cheat. They've been doing this since forever. They run the mainstream media and lie daily. That's why I be going in on Orlando when he comes on his platform. I refuse to allow Duke to poison people. I don't know who Adam Mockler is, Ian. I don't know what you're doing there. You're trying to tag somebody in. But no, listen. And this conversation, it goes way farther than I wanted it to go. Because once again, I try to treat Trump. I try to treat Trump like I would treat a Charleston White, or somebody referenced earlier, like a WAC 100, or somebody who
no oxygen.
I have no interest in anything that they have to say. Unfortunately, Trump dictates policy and legislation in this country, so I got to pay a certain amount of attention.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to turn blue in the face talking about him. No. I think that this is a pivotal time in the history of our country. And I think America has a couple choices here, because we're going to have to move on from this. Right. And the question is, how do we move on? Because I feel like the worst case scenario presents us going at each other in some sort of armed altercations. That civil war that we thought that he would kind of bring amongst the United States. I thought that his goal would be to try and utilize the United States military against his own people. But when we talk about the fact that he should now be voted out, because of when it comes time to vote in an election, you should take that person's track record and say, okay, let's make some decisions. Now, the problem is we don't know what processes he's going to try to initiate leading up to the next election to rob people of their ability to remove him from office, right? There's talk about there won't be another election. There's talk about him saying he wants another term. America has to be steadfast on making sure that there's no allowing in terms of changing the political process where the people have the right to vote and express their opinion. That's what we as a country have to do. And the important part is, if we do this, if we make sure that we send a statement to him and any other politician coming behind him that when you get in these offices and you're on some bullshit, it's going to be hell to take to the captain. We got to send a strong statement to say, we vote your ass out. Say, hire your ass, fire your ass, which is what the way I look at the leadership in Milwaukee now, in the city, locally. I hope all of these crooks and turns and all of these mishaps and mistakes are on the voters' minds when it's time to go to the ballot, so that we don't pander to somebody because of a name or a political party. Like my man Dion says, let's take a look at the policy and say, what have you done? What have you done? What kind of leadership have you provided for us since we last voted you in? aside from becoming a celebrity or getting some kind of accolades for showing up and walking around a parade with a T-shirt on, what have you done in terms of improving the quality of life in the city? And if that person does not have a track record of leading effectively, then we need to vote that person out. It doesn't matter what party it is. It doesn't matter what color it is, male, female. We need to find an alternative candidate to say, we'd rather vote for a bottle of ketchup than you. And that's what I'm saying with this Tom Tiffany character. At first, they were putting him up as this, he could be a dark horse candidate, and he's a businessman. Now we're starting to find out that he's a MAGA supporter, that he doesn't support Juneteenth Day. Who else?
For no reason.
What other kind of conservative policies do you have?
For no reason.
When it's time to vote.
That's the thing, Kev. Half the time, motherfuckers don't know who half these motherfuckers is up running. And that's where we need to get together. That's where I say we need to get to our think tanks, get on code with what's going on, figure out who these motherfuckers are, and stop voting just because he's Democratic or Republican. Because at the end of the day, they just playing you. We cattle to them, fam. We cattle to, especially and I'm going to be honest with you. Both sides is going against the black man. We got everybody against us. The Mexicans, the Asian, the motherfucking Middle Easterners. Shit, a lot of times it's us against each other. We also got the black woman against us in a lot of situations. So it's dangerous for us. And they trying to get rid of us because at the end of the day, we go out and we killing our most masculine and our baddest, our warriors. They getting killed off because everybody trying to stand for the pride. It's hard right now. And unless we get on code, the gig is up, man. Right now, just like the situation with this Asian boycott. What pisses me off is you got these goddamn black women going in these motherfucking goddamn Asian shops or Chinese food stores talking about, we kill each other. Don't nobody say nothing when we kill each other. And don't nobody do this when we kill each other. I'm going to keep it's shit like that, Kev. We can't get on code. And the minute a motherfucker say something, somebody want to say sellout. Man, at the same time, you're a saboteur. Some of these motherfuckers are saboteurs, man. Saboteurs. And won't defend a black woman, a black child, or any black elder in their motherfucking neighborhood.
I ain't gonna lie, though. I done seen a lot of black people on code with that, though. Like online. Like, I done seen a lot of black people not fuck with the Dale
shit on YouTube, man. With these black women. And it was a nigga that was out there doing this shit too. And you gotta realize some of these motherfuckers is grifters, half of them like Haitian or African, sure. But they've been born and raised here. See, that's how they fucked us up because they were able to blend in with us. So they talk like us, they walk like us, they look like us. The same shit happening to the white motherfuckers with these motherfucking Israeli motherfuckers, these Jewish motherfuckers that come over. That don't mean America any motherfucker goddamn good. We infiltrated by both. So I'm looking at this shit. How do we fix it? Truthfully, I don't give a fuck about nobody else's community right now, but mine. And we need to get on code to get this shit together. And first things first, take a page out of the Haitians' book. When they won the Haitian Revolution, the first thing they did was get rid of all their goddamn sellouts. So can't nobody infiltrate.
Kerry Walker Jones said, yes, America has choices. And that's what I was saying. My point about Juneteenth Day, y'all. And this is, this was my point about Juneteenth Day. I wasn't trying to disparage the good part of it, the positive part of all these black people getting together, the spirit of black people saying, I want to embrace freedom and I want to understand what freedom is and the significance of the end of the official slave trade in America. What I was trying to say was, what do we get out of something like Juneteenth? And I think it's time for us to start thinking about that. Like, it's got to be bigger than somebody selling hot dogs, ribs, and corn, or trinkets, or T-shirts. See, a lot of people feel like if they wear a certain T-shirt or they wear a certain outfit, it puts them in the movement. Well, it doesn't. Okay. So like you said, Kerry, America has choices, but I think Black America has some choices and they have to make some decisions as well. It coincides with the Trump thing, right? Because I even said before Trump's first election was the only good thing about this was that it was going to force Black people to circle the wagons. Because if you thought it was hard on us before, it was really going to get hard on us. So it's going to be important for us to really try and, like you said, Ace, get on code and try to get with each other and figure out what can we achieve through solidarity. And that's the only good thing that could possibly come out of Trump's presidency right now is us saying, you know what? Nobody gives a shit about us. You look at something like the Carmelo Anthony case. It's just another reminder of, or the Asian in North Carolina who says, yeah, we wish you would boycott us. That's a gauntlet being laid down to say, what y'all gonna do? We showing y'all we don't give a shit about y'all. What we should be doing is caring about ourselves and leaning on each other and saying, hey, we ain't gonna wait on no bus that ain't never coming. We gonna start walking, but we gonna walk together. So no matter what area, no matter what neighborhood, no matter what street we walk down, unity is gonna be our best weapon. We're gonna stick together and we're gonna be together. Right. And I for a long time, I've talked about my 3 S's for Black America, which is number 1, separatism, number 2, sovereignty, and number 3, solidarity. Well, we ain't ready for separatism. We ain't ready to be a sovereign nation. Solidarity is our only choice. Like, we don't have any other choice right now but to get with each other, right? And a lot of us are negative about shit that should be positive. And that's why when I thought about talking about Juneteenth tonight, I wanted to make sure I wasn't shitting on Juneteenth. I wasn't hating on Juneteenth because I know a lot of people put a lot of time in terms of organizing. The people like Erica who were there in the sun, who walked. I rode in that parade 2 years in a row. So I know the preparation and the hard work that it takes to get something like that done. But I'm just talking about purpose, right? Like, how do we move with more purpose? How do we take something that's meant for us, something like a Black History Month, something like a Juneteenth Day, and say, let's quantify this. Let's bottle this up, man. Let's be able to use this as ammunition in our fight against impropriety in this country. And so that's the whole point of me questioning this whole Juneteenth, because I heard Freedom Day, happy Freedom Day, happy Freedom Day. And I'm like, well, is this really about freedom, though? Because we ultimately didn't get freed. You freed slaves, but you didn't free the slaves.
No.
Because they had to deal with another 150, 60 years of Jim Crowism, right?
And they changed it to prison, the privatized prison shit.
Well, with the crack epidemic. So since then, we've been through more Holocausts than any Jewish person. So is it about freedom? What is it about? It should be about unity. I didn't hear nobody say unity. I wasn't hearing nobody saying that the theme was unity or solidarity. Everybody was saying freedom. I felt like it was a generic thing, like it was a blanket statement, and it's easy to say, happy Freedom Day. Well, what about unity? What about solidarity? What about empowerment? What about us empowering our community? If we can get that deep, for a street festival with no violence, no fights, no nothing, we can get that deep to dictate elections. Hell, we can run this damn state. If we get 250,000 people to vote in a local election, are you kidding me?
I look at it like this.
But we don't put the same kind of. It's not the same priority for us because that's all about partying and good time. And I want to hear the music. I've seen people down there dancing and shit, and there's just line dances and flipping and jumping rope. And I'm like, we need to have this same kind of energy when it's time to go to the ballot. We need the same kind of energy because the mayor walking through there, it should have scared him. He should have looked and said, imagine if all these people realized that I wasn't doing shit to help them and they voted against me. You would lose the election. Instead, he had a big ass smile on his face because he echoes the white man sentiment of these niggas ain't gonna do shit. And at least he did in my mind. He didn't say that, but that's how
he probably bootleg, Kev. He probably bootleg. And he's probably saying that shit. I wouldn't doubt it. But like I said, and at the end of the day, well, we echoing freedom, but truly, what is freedom? Is correct. Truly, if we were all the way free, that means we could do whatever the fuck. It would be total anarchy. The thing is unity. I agree with you.
If we were free, biggest weapon. If we were free, every city in this country would have a Juneteenth Day parade. Everybody got the 4th of July, right? If we were free, we wouldn't have to go and fight these legislative battles just to get it declared a holiday. This shit just became a national holiday, y'all. Does that seem like freedom to that? So I mean, maybe somebody's saying, but we finally did it. We finally did it. Okay. All right. You know, in our neighborhood, we used to call that being happy about your hoeing, right? Like use a satisfied prostitute. I'm not satisfied, but I think a lot of what we got to do has to come from us, right? I mean, I don't really lean on the white man as my go-to excuse. A lot of times I look at us and say, what are we going to do? When you get a challenge from somebody who just did something in your community to one of yours, and knowing that they're interlopers, they come into your community to get money from you so they can raise their family, and they got the nerve to turn around and thumb their nose and tell you, yeah, I dare you to do something about it. We need to do something about the shit. We need to shut your store should be shut down. You won't sell another piece of weave in this motherfucker. That's how we should be. And so, but when one of us starts speaking like that, that's one of the things about Mike McGee Sr. is he scared a lot of complacent Negroes, y'all.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't have nowhere near the support he should have had. That's why they was able to redistrict him and get him out of office. And he actually, a lot of people don't even pay attention. He ran for a county supervisor, and he didn't get elected.
Of course,
because he scared a lot of. There's a lot of black people who are scared of any kind of political activism. And it might be because some of them have they've made sure that they've made a living and they've gotten their education and they have a little money and they're able to live in the suburb. And
they scared of losing their shit.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of them. It's just like I heard one of our OGs saying that people now that they don't remember, but when Martin Luther King first started his climb and his journey, there were a lot of black people who didn't like him because they didn't like the fact that he spoke out, because they felt like it was just going to make white people more mad, and it was going to cause us more.
Why is this nigga doing this?
Right. It's like, why are you talking so loud? Like, calm down, man. Like
just shut the fuck up.
Well, just come on, man, come on. We always got those. We got those black people, unfortunately, and. When I talk about solidarity and unity, I talk about it as a whole, on a whole, because it's going to be some black people who I don't agree with, but I'm still going to have to say, but you still my brother, or you still my sister. I don't agree with you politically. I don't agree with you philosophically, but you still a brother. I don't have the ability to take your blackness from you. If you don't cherish it, and if you don't look at it as something that's important for you to invest in, there's nothing I can do for you. So when we talk about, that's why I'm willing to have conversations with black conservatives and black Republicans and even black MAGAs, even though they always are uncomfortable and I don't get anything out of them. I believe if you're black and I'm black, we should have that as a common ground, and we should be able to sit across from each other and engage in a conversation without it turning into I beat your ass or you punk ass motherfucker and all this. Like, I should be able to say, you know what, let's agree to disagree, and we just part amicably. I believe that. That's why I make an attempt to hear everybody's opinion. Because believe me, I don't agree with everything everybody says. And I don't expect everybody to agree with what I say. Because I'm a disagreeable type of person, right? Like, so if you following along all this time and you feel like I agree with everything he say, eventually we're gonna hit a bump in the road, because I'm gonna say some shit and I'm gonna stand on it and you're gonna be like, I don't agree with Kev on that when he's wrong. That's fine though.
I don't agree. No, but you know what?
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm happy. You know what I'm happy about with Trump being in office? I'm happy that all the white people are showing, and not only about the racism, but showing how mediocre they are. They is not as intelligent. They is not as organized. They is not as family orientated as they portray themselves to be. They are below average people. You see every day they commit all these sex crimes. They commit these welfare frauds. They commit all these blue collar crimes. They're drug trafficking down in Mississippi and Arkansas. They getting caught with methamphetamine, guns, and all that. I'm happy that the spotlight is finally on them with a trashy, mediocre ass. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I'm happy the Trump presidency have bought. Now the spotlight is on them, because y'all, like Joy Reid said that one time, y'all got everything. What are y'all still mad for? What are y'all mad? Y'all just mad to be mad. You know, and it'll puzzle me in my life. That's why they try to ban history, because for one, this land never belonged to you. never belonged to European Americans, Europeans, the white man, whatever you want to call them. So you're angry because you went over to a different continent, and we just play how history said, enslaved a group of people, brought them over here, murdered, tortured, raped, mutilated. I mean, did everything you could to them as a human being. They survived was persistent through survival, was able to not gain our freedom on our own, but gained our freedom through what's they call that a proclamation and that was only because they were war contraband. See, a lot of times people do a lot of digging into that. All the slaves were not freed in the North, even though some northern states still had slavery. Like, believe it or not, a lot of people don't understand. Baltimore is Maryland is a southern state, but they don't have that southern accent like some of the southern states, but they on the southern border. What they call that, I forgot what they call it, mixedation line or some shit like that. I can't remember. But anyway, so you're angry at a group of people that persevered, gained independence, came up, did what they needed to do, wanted to, as now we're looking at y'all, we like, well, why can't we be equal as you guys? I pay the same amount of fare that you pay on the bus. Why can't I sit where I want to sit? You know, when you logically think about that shit, it's kind of fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? Because me and you are paying the same amount to get on the bus, but you allowed to sit down in the seat. And if you feel like you want to take my seat, you can come take my seat. If I refuse to get my seat up, I could be murdered and lynched because I refuse to get my seat up. See, a lot of that shit is bewildering to me, but I just look at it like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, like, a lot of people don't really think about slavery in that matter. They know that we were enslaved in bondage, but they don't realize, like, it's 4 million people that were free. They had no place to go. It wasn't like I'm about to go see cousin Jim over here in Chicago. We about to go here. So a lot of them were forced to stay on the plantation that they were on and become sharecroppers. Yeah. So now, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't really understand the dynamics of it. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't truly understand the dynamics of it. I understand somewhat the dynamics of it, but it goes deeper than what the little surface that we know about, to scratch the surface of it, go a little bit deeper than that. That shit was an institution. It was a way of life. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of times when I go down south, that's why I love going to the south, because I was raised in the north. And it's easy for us in the north to say, oh, they wouldn't do that to me. But if you're big on, and I hear a lot of people like, well, my grandma stayed there, my cousin stayed there, you can go down south and cause some bullshit to get your family killed. Yeah, you can come back to Milwaukee and Chicago, Detroit, where the fuck you from. You see what happened when they did that to Emmett Till? The whole family had to get the fuck from down there. You feel what I'm saying? Because them people was hell bent on killing every last one of them. So to them, when I talked to them, they just said it was natural, it was normal. When you see a white person like, hey, sir, you know, step on the side, not to look them in their eyes, because it was retribution behind that. We just sit up there and be like, oh man, baby, this, that, and the other. But that shit was just deeper than we know or we would ever know in our lifetime. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why sometimes I be just like, I just don't like white people, you know, and I don't think, I don't, like I told y'all, and I said it here and I said it again to take the last breath from me, I don't want to worship the God they worship. So I need to find me another God. That God ain't paying no attention to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to believe in the same God none of them white motherfuckers believe in. From Abraham Lincoln on to the present day president, to George, none of them. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't mean a people that were, we live in harmony among each other. You know what I'm saying? We live in harmony and this, that, and the other, and they came and fucked us up. That's just like I was listening to you guys talking. I was down there cleaning up. What are you doing? If you piss on that, you pissing, I'm going to kill you tonight. I was down there cleaning up my dog's room and shit. You know what I'm saying? No, the dog.
I know, but you can't be on a tangent and then start threatening to kill the dogs on the air like that's.
He sounded like Tupac at the end of Hit 'Em Up. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna kill your ass tonight, motherfucker.
Crazy,
Make sure all your
man.
puppies don't grow.
Yeah, that's why like it's so important to me. Like how y'all be like the FBA or whatever I don't know what you call it. I don't want to disrespect it. That's how I be.
Now you don't know what we call it. You just said it.
You call it, what is it? Foundational
Black Americans.
That's just like how y'all believe in that. I believe in slave syndrome, post-traumatic slave syndrome. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I have a strong belief in it. You feel what I'm saying? Like I really believe.
I've never said that post-traumatic slave syndrome didn't exist. What I say is sometimes it's an excuse for people to do dumb shit and blame it on that.
Yes.
That's what I said. And I also believe that your mind is yours to control until you give up the control of it. So when you start to think that I'm oppressed because hundreds of years ago my family was a slave, and so I can't make good decisions right now. No. I think you're doing yourself a disservice. So I don't.
But it's not that though. It's genetic though. It's just like how you could have, if your great grandmama had high blood pressure and everybody in your family had high blood pressure. What the fuck? That's genetic.
That's not the same. That's not the same as to say that slavery was passed through my genes. My family,
it's not about slavery.
My family was involved in that as well. I don't have any slave DNA in my body. I don't suffer.
Okay, it's not about the slavery. It's about the trauma. That's just like going
the trauma and the anger, D. I mean, that's what they gotta get. Because I mean, shit, we pissed off. We don't like the shit that happened, and
like,
you know, we motherfuckers still benefiting from the shit.
I don't have to go all the way back to slavery as a black man to find something to be angry about. And I wasn't born angry about slavery. I got angry because of the things that occurred in the world around me while I was being raised was enough fuel to go to the fire. It wasn't nothing that was inherent. It wasn't built in me to feel stressed or angry because my forefathers had been slaves. So for me as an individual, I said that doesn't affect me, but that don't mean it don't exist. There might be somebody who feels that way. I don't know, but I didn't. It's just I don't know that you can compare that and being an FBA. FBA is a delineage thing. It's not even about no DNA. It's about where your people came from. What are your origins in this country? And so that's what makes being an FBA different is because, like I said,
we had to separate from the Africans, the Caribbeans, and all that shit because shit kept falling on us. Their crime kept falling on us, but they held their accomplishments to themselves.
Well, so black people in this country are a very unique group of people. And our experience in this country has been formed and shaped by this country. So we are the only group of people who have really suffered the brunt of America. A lot of people have benefited from being Americans. We've suffered at the hands of America. And that also makes us very unique. So I don't think it's wrong for us to identify who we actually are because they stripped us of any identity in the first place. So I can't rightfully walk around and say I'm African. I can say I'm of African descent somewhere along the line because of the melanin in my skin. But I can't say I'm African per se, but I can say I am American because I'm a product of 6 or 7 generations of American people, but they just so happen to be black. So, you know, it is what it is. I wanted to switch this up anyways. Erica says she's been 10 toes down since she jumped on the front line. And she's laughing. She said, LOL, not the dog. But I'll tell you a tragedy that we just seen. We bore witness to this, and this is something that's very sad to me. The rapper Mystical was convicted of rape and given 20 years in the penitentiary.
Yep.
Now, if you followed this, you know that this last case was not Mystical's first rodeo.
No.
The thing about Mystical is Mystical was an immensely talented rapper, one of the best in the game, had a lot of success.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the issue is with him with this rape and this, because the first one was bad because he actually, I guess, allegedly caught his hairstylist stealing. And so he decided him and a few of his guys were going to sexually assault her on video, which number one is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. So I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But then he came home and there was an accusation made and he was able to beat that one. But then this was a whole different one. And I don't know if this is drugs or if this is mental health, but I think it's very sad that a rapper like Mystical, who basically had the world by his balls, man, could have. And I thought when he came home this last time, he was going to get back to the music. but apparently it wasn't enough to save him from his own demons, man. So it's very sad that he's going to have to do 20 years. And the whole crazy part about it is he actually pled guilty this time and then tried to change his plea at the last minute, saying, no, I didn't mean to say guilty. It's like too late. Get your ass in that cell. So hopefully there's some redemption for Mystical, man. I hope, man. It would have been nice to have him come out at a time now where we know our music has lost its soul, man. Our music, there's no heart and no soul in our music, man. I'm listening. It's the summertime. This is supposed to be the time with the biggest hip hop anthems. I remember a time when the top albums, all of the best rappers waited until the summer, and they all dropped in the summer. And so the summer was cracking the whole 3-4 months of summer or hot weather, because it was constant dope music being released. And I'm listening now to the radio, and more I'm saying, no. I mean, so, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Hey, Kev, if you like Mystical, man, you ain't, have you heard his son yet?
I have
Jimmy New?
I have not heard his son.
He's sick.
What's his
sick,
son's name?
Bro. Jimmy New. He got a remake off that Still Smoking. And man, he flipped it. It's slick as a bitch. You need to check that out.
I haven't heard it. I don't. It's hard for me to listen to a lot of modern hip hop because it's just not, the soul ain't in it. There's just no soul, even in terms of the music that is, and a lot of the rappers during our eras, I know they sample, but they sample soul, they sample funk, they sampled R&B, they sample real live instruments. So we got familiar with instruments, pianos, drums, horns, guitars, stuff like that. Now it's just this all electronically manufactured music, this low 808, and everything is super dark. And even when they try to do something happy, it's usually so profane that it ends up taking away from it. So like I miss happy rappers that made good music, like Kid and Play, right? Or like De La Soul. Like, we don't have that in the game right now. Every rapper's a gangster rapper.
He still be rapping too. Kid, he did a cold ass fucking verse where he was just giving props to all the guys that passed away. Oh my goodness, yeah, Kid, man,
I think I may have heard that. But
yeah, it was really good. I was a little surprised.
The subject matter is so watered down now because everybody's a gangster.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
Every woman is a hooker, right? With a BBL. It's just such it salutes to ignorance now. It's nothing, no real soul, no real heart in the music. Like, it ain't nothing. I'm not hearing anything now where I can say, okay, that's creative, that's dope. Because a lot of the thing is, we had gangster rap, but not every gangster rapped the same. And you had some rappers who were giving you a message while they was being gangster rappers. I don't really hear that now. A lot of the music I hear now that they be saying, oh, this is slam and this is dope, I'm like, this is trash. And I realized I got somebody tell me one time I had some old nigga ears. So it might be that too. It might just be that my ears.
Well, no, you know what, Kev? I mean, we had lyricists back in the day, man. They'll make a song out of any motherfucking thing now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, you go back to, we had people like Nas. We had people like Talib Kweli, Mos Def, Common.
His later shit is good too, Nas's.
You know what I'm saying? And nowadays, I mean, most people listen to music for the beat. Exactly. That's what it. You could have a dope beat and not have shit to say.
I think the music is a reflection of the community, and the fact of the matter is, it's not a lot of heart and soul in the community. So a lot of people who are walking around in the community have no real intentions of being a positive asset to the community. And if they do get something where they get a little money or a little status, what they want to do is beat you over the head with it and remind you why you ain't shit and they the bomb, right? Like, I'm rich and you're poor. I'm rich and you're poor. That's the whole song. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. You poor. You broke. Look, I put a house on my wrist. Look, I live in this. Look at you, your broke ass. Like, what is this? What is the meme, the video of the old man who somebody said when they said the old man come back and try to rap and he said, I'm just gonna drink a lot of liquor and drive fast up and down the street and mess with a lot of girls and shoot guns.
You know what, Kev?
I don't know who that dude's name is. That shit was funny.
Speaking of that, man, they just had something on YouTube speaking of a lot of these people that are millionaires and billionaires and saying how miserable and they're lost how they are, and people really don't know how they really live. You know what I'm saying? Because we have this idea that, everybody loves tangible things. You know what I'm saying? And if you get tangible things, it's going to bring cars, you're going to get the woman, and it's going to be, and not understand. I don't think a lot of people understand what happiness really is, my dude. And so I think that's where we go wrong, because we've been starved out so long till all we want is a car and a nice house and some pussy. You know what I'm saying? And not understand that, man, you know what? My wealth is going to be my family, the people I can get ideas from, I can talk to every day, people that's going to actually tell me the truth about what's really going on in life. Not compare yourself to them, not compete with you, but, real motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no handouts, but tell me the game.
Erica says,
she
says, Spin That is the song of the summer. Yeah, I've heard that song. Once again, this is a song that everybody's saying is so good.
That shit is dumb.
It doesn't really have any heart to me, like in terms of soul. And I don't know if she's giving props to say, to the people who are scammers or to the people who are thieves or boosters. Hey, I understand your struggle. You're doing whatever you got to do to try and get some money. Well, that message is lost because there's so many other things you could do besides scamming or boosting to get money. So, I'm not really a big fan of that song, but I think what ruins it for me is I can't stand people. And this is one thing about social media that I hate. I hate people making videos to songs. I hate when somebody's lip syncing somebody else's song. It's like, that's not your song. Like, do you think you're in the video? Like, it shouldn't annoy me as much as it does, but I can't stand when somebody's got a song playing in the background and they acting like they singing along or rapping along with the song.
Shit,
I'm like,
annoying.
It's very annoying. Like,
it's annoying as fuck because you think it's their song. Like, is this the artist? It's annoying, bro.
No, most of the time I know that ain't the artist. I know it ain't the artist, but it's just
I'm just saying though.
It's just the most unoriginal way to get views, right? Like, did you see me? I did Frankie Beverly and Maze the other day on Instagram. Like, what you mean you did Frankie Beverly and Maze? Like, you sang and you lip synced the song. We hate lip syncing at shows, but we like to see other people on social media lip syncing. So I can't. That shit annoys me, man. I'm sorry. It shows my age. I can't stand it. Every time I see somebody lip syncing somebody's song, I just click over it. That's
common sense, Kev. That ain't your age. I'm sorry you got common sense.
I'm sorry too, because I need to dumb it down so I can be as entertained as everybody else, right? Like I can't. I haven't heard a rap song that I was impressed by in so long. I remember the thing that used to be when I used to listen to hip hop. The thing for me was I would hear stuff that rappers did, and I would say, "Damn, I can't do that. I don't have that ability. Like I can't, man. I could never do that." Now I don't hear any rapper doing something that the average person can't do. That's why it's like super generic, because I can write a rap about riding around on rims and paint and drinking and smoking and all this kind of shit. Anybody can make a song about that. Like, that's not even original. It's like, can you deliver a message that's wrapped up in your song? Like, it's just things have changed. And, as we get older, the world changes around us. We got to be able to adjust, man. Anywho, I want to thank everybody who tuned into the show. Please keep sharing the show. Shout out to everybody who calls in, contributes, because the callers have become like part of the show, because I always got the same people who call in, and a lot of people listen to the show and just, they don't ever call in or comment. So I would love to hear from other people, because a lot of the things we talk about, everybody has an opinion on it. But I want to shout everybody out and wish everybody a happy Juneteenth day. And I'm not going to say happy Freedom Day. I'm going to say happy Unity Day, right?
Hell yeah.
Solidarity, right? Because that's
Juneteenth over, man. It's Juneteenth over.
That should be our theme moving forward. And everything we do as Black people, it should be about unity and solidarity, man. We got to come together.
I came here with my dick in my hand.
So hopefully I will see y'all Wednesday. I know sometimes I plan to do a show on Wednesday, and then the day falls apart, and I'll be like, I ain't even doing shit tonight. So,
yeah, you been bullshitting on Wednesdays, Ken.
So we should be back Wednesday. Right now, my week looks pretty clear. We should be back Wednesday to just talk about more foundational Black American stuff, man. And if this is your bag, tell a friend and tell a friend. If it ain't, kick rocks. It ain't for you. But Anywho, man, peace and love to y'all, man. Y'all keep y'all head on a swivel and be safe.
God
And we will
bless.
meet again on Wednesday evening. Shout out to the fact checker, man. Shout out to you, Ian.
All right, love, bro.
Man. Peace and love to
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
man. I'll see y'all
All right,
Wednesday.
love y'all, man.
All right, guys. Love.
Yep. Nothing but.